Yes, indeed, man.
Yeah.
We live here on the Nature Sports Network with day two of Redskin free agency, man. It got real spicy out there in Redskin land, man. Real spicy. We had a number of signings today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the signings with you, let y'all chime in. Let everybody chime in, man. Shout out to the fans out there on in Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, man. Wherever you listening at, wherever you watching at, man. Shout out to you. Hope you had a good night, staying safe out there. I do appreciate your attendance here tonight. So what y'all think? Again, anything y'all got? Anybody got to say? Anything? Any preliminary talks or anything? Anybody got to say before we go over who's been signed or anything? Can we get any thoughts on anything particular?
Let's go over the signings first, and then we can go over that.
Then we get into the particulars.
All right, let's get into it. All right, so on the signing front, hold on, give me 1 second to pull these up. On the signings, the signing front, right?
Ooh.
Okay, hold up. Let me get this on up. Bear with me. Gotcha. Okay. On the signing front today, the Washington Redskins have added. Let's just start with the big one. Marcus Mariota at quarterback.
That's not the big one.
I mean, with the big name, the biggest name, right? And that's all I'm saying. The biggest name.
You think so?
Marcus Mariota. I mean, he went to the national championship. You know what I'm saying? So that
I agree with Ro.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So Marcus Mariota, you know what I'm saying? He was with the Eagles last year. He went to Washington. We gave him $6 million. He's 30 years old. Second, we have Celine Farrell, defensive end from the San Francisco 49ers.
Cleveland.
No, they got it for he came from San Francisco.
No, I said Cleveland Farrell.
Cleveland Farrell. Cleveland Farrell.
Who also won a national championship from Clemson. If we talk about big names, that's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't say Mariota's a big name, but all right.
Yeah, Cleveland Farrell, from San Francisco. He comes to Washington, and we get him for $3.7 million. And we also get Jeremy Chin from the Carolina Panthers. We sign him for 1 year. Then we also get Dante Fowler from the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
He's 29 years old. And we don't really have any numbers in on him yet as far as what he's getting.
Right.
But those are the 4 pieces that we've added today. Again, nobody has left, though. Only people that still right now only ones that have left is Antonio Gibson and Jacoby Brissett. So, you still got your whole arsenal that you can bring back, and you also have
Leno is out the building, and Thomas is out the building.
Okay,
sure.
Leno has been signed.
He out the building. We didn't sign him back.
Oh no, we didn't sign him back. No, we didn't. I'm saying nobody else from our team currently has been re-signed. Has been signed.
Yeah, we released them though. We released Leno and Thomas.
Okay, so Leno and Thomas both were released today.
We released both of them.
Yeah, they both were released today. So nobody. But I'm saying nobody else has been signed from our team, from our squad. So now let's get into y'all thoughts about today. You know what I'm saying? Go around the panel, baby. Who want to go first?
Man, I'm gonna just say I'm ecstatic about a linebacker that we got. Well, a defensive end. He can't play linebacker at the time, but he's really known at defensive end. We got him from the Cowboys, but he started his career with the Jaguars. I really like Dante Fowler. I like his motor. I like his intensity. I like when he played in college for Clemson. He was a dog then. I really, to be honest, I kind of forgot about Fowler. It just to see his name come across, I'm like, oh, okay, that's refreshing to see. He only had 4 sacks last year, 13 tackles, but I'm still excited about the guy regardless. To see a guy like him, a player of that caliber come through, I'm excited about him. I'm also excited about I believe we picked. I don't know if this guy. Now, I seen this earlier. I don't know if this is true. And don't quote me on this. Is a lineman from Miami Dolphins. Did we speak about him, bro? Or did you see that?
That's Clelin Ferrell.
That's Furl.
He used to be with the Raiders.
Yeah, that's Furl.
That's the dude from 49ers?
Yeah, from the 49ers. Yep.
Oh, okay. Cool. I move on there. I like the Marcus Mariota pick. To me, I don't know what it says to y'all. To me, with the Marcus Mariota pick screams that they're not drafting the quarterback. They're sticking with Sam Howell. Um, I think that's pretty good to be honest, because I don't think we've seen the best of Sam Howell yet. That's just my opinion. You guys may think different. I don't know what you guys think. I honestly don't think we've seen the best. I think we've seen glimpses of what Sam Howell can be, but under the enemy's tutelage, uh, we seen some glimpses of hope. I'll say that we seen some glimpses of hope with him at the helm. Also, I like I like the Jeremy Chin pick. I was just actually looking at film with him before we came on tonight, and I like his hips. I like the way he plays downfield. He can also play the nickel and the slat. So to me, that screams also when talking about things that's screams volume to me. It screams volume to me that we may not be bringing Cameron Curl back. Curl might, like Rose said, Curl might have some money and some options in other places. Um, Definitely Reeves is gone and Christian Holmes with that pick. Now, Curl is still in the limbo right there, but definitely Jeremy Reeves and Christian Holmes, they're out the building. But definitely an exciting second day for me to get some guys in here. I finally feel like, okay, they're trying to fix the defense a little bit, but we still have the draft. So I'm not going to be overly excited, but I am excited to see uh, what can I say? Not reaching on the second day, actually making some good moves. That's all I got on it.
All right. So for me, I like I like the Mariota signing. It doesn't suggest to me that we're not selecting a quarterback. I think you can still do all. I think you can still pick a quarterback, keep Howell and Mariota. Your quarterback room probably wouldn't be but $20 million. Mariota, if I'm not mistaken, has a 1 or 2 year deal. I think it's a 1 year deal for $6 million. So you got basically a formidable backup that has experience, and a teacher. I'm not sure of whose offense specifically, but you do have a teacher who's had experience in a number of different things. If Brian Johnson is the passing game coordinator, then Mariota would be the most familiar with what his concepts and things like that would be. So even if he was explaining that to to the quarterback, then that would be something that I could see and understand. Um, I don't know if there's a reason to trade Sam Howell unless there's given value somewhere else that you're going to use it for either a draft pick or something like that. And I just don't know if I would have waited to do that on draft day before today or the likes of the day before, because the those guys, man, my fault, y'all. Those guys have been traded across the league. There's other guys, excuse me, that have been traded across the league for value right now. And while you're shopping in the free agent market for some of the players that I thought we would look at or would consider looking at, but that's just my theory. I thought that trade value would have had to be added to that. So Sam Howell would have been an interesting trade aspect in this first week of free agency, in my opinion. I think once July 1st or June 1st comes, whatever money that the season starts with, you're already locked in. So if they trade him at that point, they're still having to pay him for this year in that trade. So I thought that if he would be moved, it would be before the draft or around the draft. Again, to trade him for a draft pick and not know what you're getting unless you're sure about what you're going to go with quarterback, I still would rather get a player because you obviously have these guys that want or have their system. So if you're gonna get your system, I would go out and get guys that I might need to trade a player for to add with that pick or something like that. That's just my opinion quickly on that. Jeremy Chin used to play for the Eagles as well, and when I met the Eagles players and went up there to Philly, he was one of the guys that I got to meet. He's not that tall. He's actually about 5'9", maybe 5'10", in his cleats and stuff like that. That does not suggest to me that Jeremy Reeves is leaving, because Jeremy Reeves is a very important factor on the special teams. Having a sub for a safety is important because we wouldn't even know who Christian Holmes and that other guy, what was his name, White Blood or Sell Itself, whatever his name was, that was True Blood, whatever it was that was really bad. Like we wouldn't even know who that guy was if we had a backup safety.
Wild Goose.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. We
Yeah.
wouldn't even have had him on the field if we had somebody if we had depth at the position that could have got on the field. Like I said, Reeves is not bad, but if Reeves is your special teams captain, you want him for what you have specifically. You don't want to try to use him in both places. Special teams is very rigorous, and those guys usually are for that. The who else did we get today? I'm looking at the list real quick. Dante Fowler, I thought that was a good pick. With him and Clelin Ferrell. So Ferrell to me was the worst pick of the day. Not worst pick as in I don't like it completely, but in the aspect that this was the worst pick because I felt like his production from where he was drafted at and what he did in college never translated. When he was with the Raiders, it never translated with the 49ers. If you look at the numbers and them having to go get Chase mid-season, even though he's in the interior and not necessarily the outside, also spoke volumes on them needing the extra help. Them going out and signing a in the offseason and not bringing Chase back and then letting Clellan go also suggests that he didn't pan out for what they would have expected out of him. So that goes to me to the production that he had in college, still not necessarily translating right now in the NFL. So to me, out of all of the defensive players, this is one of those guys that I feel like you're picking and signing for potential and for depth, but you're kind of reaching in the aspect that what are you expecting to get from him? It's the same thing Rose said the other day when he was saying about Curl, where he feels like he may be at his peak. If Cleveland hasn't gotten better at this point, and he's been in the league about 3-4 years, about 3 years now.
He's been in the league for 5 years.
5 years, even better. So where is the growth? Like, where do you see him peaking out if there was no signs of it happening a little earlier? You know what I'm saying? That's where I would get at with that. So that's why I don't feel good about that pick per se. I feel like that one was more of a reach. The other picks were decent. I don't feel comfortable because so this was the question I had yesterday. I don't feel comfortable with Jeremy Chin over Kareem or over Cameron Curl. I would say that was a downgrade at the pick more so than an upgrade if that were what we were doing. So I don't think that Cameron Curl's off the table, but I will say what you said, Big Son, that maybe it's a play on just in case we don't get the deal done. If the deal costs us too much money and we don't want to put ourselves in that much of a hole while we're still trying to not necessarily rebuild, but still build, then just in case we need to, we still have Forrest and we can go in the season with Chin and maybe have to draft at that. You know what I'm saying? That would add pressure for us to have to draft something right there. But like I said, until the Curl discussions are over or aren't had, I'll still feel a little confident that you sign the best player on your defense this year via PFF and, a lot of other people feeling like he had one of the better seasons out of a tough defensive year for our guys. I'm not sure I feel comfortable about the new staff coming in and replacing players that you haven't got a chance to see on field. These guys are in the offseason. I don't think anybody's in the office as far as a player that whether they have to be there or not, even if they came, they're not doing anything football wise. So, and the only way you would take this person off the team is if you felt like this player was had a bad attitude or something that would make more sense to this being something that you have to let him go because of a character issue. I don't feel like Cameron Curl has given us anything to lead to that answer in the first few years of him being in the league. So I don't want to necessarily feel like they're going to go just away from him without seeing him in practice, without seeing like, and also I'm not letting a person go without getting value for them when they're coming off of what would be one of their better seasons. Yes, the money is going to be there, but the value that you're going to, because again, it's hard to replace these players. It's some positions that you can pick and place and put some players into place and they can plug in. You saw Rowe like I did, and most and all of you guys. When we let Landon Collins go, it was hard to fill that spot. We're still trying to fill it. Derek Forrest is kind of giving us that look that makes us feel like, okay, he can make those type of plays. But and Landon Collins wasn't the greatest, but he was such an impact for what we had him at. When we lost him, you see how hard it was to try to replace it. So I don't want to get rid of a Curl right now. I'd rather franchise tag him at worst and bring him in for 1 year and let somebody else pay the big money for him and make sure that you have somebody in that spot or you got somebody to groom in that spot before you just let him go without getting anything for it.
Yes, indeed. What you got, Point?
So today, I really do like Chin. I think he's a good player. You know what I mean? If today was about depth, I like it. I like it a lot. If it was about depth, if Fowler, because Fowler wasn't starting and hasn't really started a bunch of games over the last couple years. You look at Jeremy Chin, is he a downgrade to Cameron Curl? Maybe, maybe not. You never know. You know what I mean? So if we add it for depth, Marcus Mariota, another depth pick. If we're not, hopefully we're not trying to start Marcus Mariota over Sam Howell. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by if today's picks was about depth, I love it. If it was about trying to find your core pieces, then I would hate it. You get what I'm saying?
I doubt 1 year doesn't suggest he's bringing Wood in for a starter.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, but that's why I'm saying the angle of it. If the
Right.
angle is add to your team, adding depth to your team, because those players are going to be important to get to the playoffs. And even once you get to the playoffs, those role players are super important. So getting quality role players is very important, I think. You know? So in that aspect, I say it was an okay day. As far as the best pick of the day, it might have been Mariota, in my opinion. If Mariota is going to be, I'm helping the younger players evolve.
To me,
Maybe he's not the best. Maybe he don't got the strongest arm. But if he comes in and he's been around real consummate professionals, if he comes in professional and he comes into work and he put a little bit of pressure under the starting quarterback to do better, you know what I mean? To work harder, to be better, then I think that's a great thing. So I think he might be one of, because they say the backup quarterback is the most important position on the team.
well, that's why I said I feel like it was an upgrade because essentially we let Jacoby Brissett go to the Patriots and we
Yeah,
replaced with Mariota. So that's
yeah,
an upgrade, in my opinion, as your backup quarterback.
yeah.
I don't see bringing in Mariota to start. So this goes in your favor, Big Son. I don't see bringing Mariota in to have him sit behind a rookie quarterback, even for 1 year. Now, if he does, it's because he gets beat out because Mariota would have to play the preseason.
Yeah,
He doesn't have to prove anything because he's been a starter in the league before. But if he beats out your rookie, you can't start him if you let Sam Howell go and you have Mariota as your backup. You have to
exactly.
start Mariota. And then that would also have me question a lot of things. Why would you let go somebody that you could start day one to bring in someone who you thought would be able to do it that wasn't able to do it? Why would you do that
Yeah,
when your total price would be under what you would pay a Baker Mayfield or a
yeah.
Kirk Cousins for 1 season? If you're going to pay the top quarterbacks
But
30,
no
40 a
blasphemy, bro.
year,
No blasphemy on this stage, bro.
no, I'm saying if look, hey, look. We can all feel how we want to, and I'll agree with you all that he's not the greatest playoff coach. I'm a playoff quarterback. He only got 1 playoff win, but there's only 1 Super Bowl winner at the end of every year. And in my recollection, in my 40 something years on this earth, there's only been about 10 to 12 Super Bowl winners There's not everybody in the league don't get them since I've been alive. There's been a lot of teams that ain't been to the Super Bowl since I've been alive. So one playoff win is giving your team a chance. Is he a great in the league? No,
No,
he's very, very good though. I won't say that he's not very
fuck
good.
no.
Nah, hell,
He,
nah, no,
he's
no
We have
way,
to
no
disagree
way.
but
there.
you can I'm with you all because you all judge him on what you all judge him on, and I'm not going to take that from y'all. I'm saying that you don't get those numbers at making money or stat wise either if you're just a bum. You don't start this long in the league if you're just trash, bro. You don't. And if you feel
Blonde
like
hair and
that,
blue eyes will take you a long place, bro.
I'm not gonna go with race in that manner. The fact that he's in the me and Ro went over this in arguing, bro. He's been in the middle of the pack. He's been better than the middle of the pack of quarterbacks every year in his career, outside of this year being
Hold up.
injured.
So
this
hold
is
up. Before we keep going from that, listen. So you say he's a middle of the pack quarterback, right?
He's
Been
been
middle of
better
the
than
pack the whole his whole career, right?
he's been better than middle of the pack his entire career.
He hasn't been better than middle of the pack.
Yes,
He's
he
been
had
middle of the pack.
me and Ro had a whole debate about this, bro. He's been 14th,
this
average of 14 to 15
this
every
my
year.
problem. He's
It's
like
not
Does
one.
win loss? Hold up. Does win loss count?
no, it does not because you're not the only person.
What?
It does not, bro. You're not the only, bro. Football is not basketball, bro. It takes more than one player. I'm sorry, we're
Win
not about to
loss
sit here.
definitely counts, bro. How is that not a stat? It's a stat, right?
The Bills lost how many Super Bowls in a row? 4 of them, right?
They
Am I
went to
correct?
4 Super
Did
Bowls.
they
That's
did they
no
lose?
argument.
Did they lose 4 Super Bowls or not?
Yes.
They're
Okay,
knocked again. Yeah, they're knocked for that too, though.
hold on, is the right, and they've been knocked for that their
Yeah,
entire Buffalo franchise jump.
yeah,
Are
have
you
been
going to
knocked.
say that Jim Kelly was a bum? Are you going to say that Andre Reed was a bum? Are you going to say Thurman Thomas was a bum? No,
Would
but
you
it
say
takes a team.
hold on. No. Don't jump off of that. Would you say any quarterback that been to 4 Super Bowls is a bum?
I can say a quarterback that's been to the Super Bowl is a bum. I hated Curry Collins.
No, I
Curry
said
Collins was
4.
not
I
good.
said 4. No, we're not
No,
Curry
talking about
hasn't.
how many
Curry
how
didn't
many
go to the Super
quarterbacks?
Bowl.
How many
Curry didn't go to the Super Bowl.
Trent Dilfer?
Oh yeah, he
And
did go.
Curry
Curry
Collins
Collins
go to
did go
the
with the
Super Bowl,
Giants.
bro.
He went with the
Yes.
Giants. He went with the Giants. You're right. He did
Yeah.
go with the Giants. Yep.
No, how many bum quarterbacks been to 4 Super Bowls?
How many people been to 4 Super Bowls?
My point. And so you can't
But
put
they don't have no
Kirk Cousins.
franchise. They don't have any wins
But
in the
This
Super Bowl.
this is my
You're
argument
playing
with
for a
Kirk.
Super Bowl, bro. You're not
argument,
playing
though.
for going to the Super Bowl. You're playing to win one. We've had this conversation before.
Bruh.
Now, if we're celebrating playoff wins,
Bruh.
going to the playoffs, then we having a different conversation. And
Bruh.
I can have that one
Bruh.
with y'all, but I'm not gonna say that a guy that hasn't won a playoff game, that all of these things are his fault. His numbers do not. When has Kirk Cousins had a 21 interception season?
Well, can I chime in on that?
We
He
have no.
hasn't.
We
He
have no.
hasn't, and I'm gonna tell you why.
So
Though.
now it's a why. Sam Howell has had one. Why you had one has nothing to do with any
But
20 interceptions
Kirk
is
Cousins.
bad.
Kirk
He's
Cousins.
never had that.
Kirk Cousins didn't start until his 3rd season. That's the first thing. For a
Okay,
whole
but
season. For a whole season.
he's been starting
Right.
for at least what 9 to 10 years now.
Right.
10
Hold on.
years
Hear me
now.
out. Hear me out. But this is my problem with Kirk Cousins. He's old. He's like 1-15 in primetime games. He's 0-6 against Dak Prescott. He's against it's just certain people in certain situations he can't get over. And so I look at him to the likes of Jay Schrader or any other quarterback who chokes. I look at him as a choke king. So that's why.
So Jim Kelly was a bum.
I didn't say he's a choke
he choked
king.
against the NFC East every time in the Super Bowl.
Well, he never had the better. He never had a better team than the NFC.
He had a better team than the Giants. You crazy? That Buffalo team was better than the Giants.
I disagree
The
with that.
Patriots team was better than the Giants that they beat. They just won the game. The better team won the game, but they had a better team. We're not about to say their team
I
was
don't know.
better.
I don't know.
Statistically, they were better.
They didn't have a better defense.
Statistically,
they didn't have
were.
Statistically, they wasn't better. Didn't have a better defense.
Yes,
no,
they
didn't.
go look, please.
Vito,
Go
right
look,
now.
please. Go look, please.
Right now, would you have paid Kirk Cousins 180 million?
You said what?
Would you have paid Kirk Cousins 180 million right now?
Nah.
Would you do it?
Why not? You said would I? One, I don't like old quarterbacks. You're not gonna ask me because I wouldn't have kept Tom Brady as long as the Patriots did, even with winning Super Bowls. I don't believe in giving no quarterback more money than everybody on the team, and we can't win like that. Tom Brady and Mahomes are the exception to that. I do not believe in
The
paying.
Giants defense was first in the league that year. They was the number one defense in the league that year.
You talking about the Lawrence Taylor
That's what
Giants
I'm.
defense?
They was the number one defense in the league that year. The Bill Belichick coach, the Bill Belichick coordinated.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, look, all I'm saying is that, in my opinion, with Kirk Cousins, right?
You're right on offense, though, Vito. Just to be honest with you,
Yes.
you're right. Offensively, they were better. They probably were better than the Giants
But
offensively. I mean,
but
but
what?
defensively,
But all I'm
no.
saying is that with Kirk Cousins, right? You a guy that doesn't consistently win, your stats don't matter. Your stats don't matter. If you
I,
go out there and you go throw 300 yards a game every game and you go 0-16, does those
Does
stats matter?
Brad
No.
Johnson have a winning record? Brad Johnson. No, and I'm not going to go ask y'all. I'm going to tell y'all because I'm asking y'all questions. Y'all not even being real with me. So Brad Johnson has a winning record over his whole NFL career. Brad Johnson does not have a 20 interception season. Brad Johnson's never going to the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Brad Johnson was a good quarterback. Okay, he was a good quarterback with a winning
Okay.
record. You're not giving Brad Johnson $140 million, but Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl without getting that much money.
he got paid from us though. We gave him good money to come
Hey,
here.
We didn't give him $100 million.
Well, back then, really wasn't nobody getting that type of
Okay,
money.
so he
Peyton
didn't get
Manning
that
got
much money.
Peyton Manning got a 20 interception season.
Peyton Manning was a rookie. He was a rookie, not
So Sam
saying his
Howell.
first. No, he was not. Why do we keep, bro? I'm not even trying to yell with y'all because my kids is asleep. A second-year player is not a rookie. Please stop saying that. Okay, playing time and all that is weak, bro. We're not about to do this 2020 something stuff when we was all born in an era where that's not the case. If you don't play that year, then you are a 1 year pro that did not play. I don't care about that, bro. I don't care about you didn't get on the field.
I
You
can
were
respect that.
redshirted. You are a bum. Okay, and you didn't get on the floor. You need to do better to get on the floor. When you get on the floor, you're not a rookie. I don't count the seasons when NBA play. When Embiid get the rookie of the year, I don't count that because your big ass sat for 3 years before you played. You're not a rookie. You got training from NBA trainers and all of that stuff. It don't count.
But I'm just saying, Wentz got played that year, so it ain't like he had nobody in front of him who was better.
That's just being funny, bro. That still doesn't mean anything. If you were better than Wentz, you would have played.
Nah, he was better than Wentz. He's better than Wentz.
But he didn't. But he didn't play, so that means that he wasn't.
Wentz.
But that's what your opinion is. An NFL coach did not decide. So you can say that because we watched the film and watched the season, but he did not play him. Why didn't he play him?
I got a question.
They pay Wentz too much money.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So now we're saying that so now we're saying that players don't get paid. Players only play if they're paid.
Some of them. Yeah.
Okay, so then
especially in that position, we know that to be true.
And we need to blame the franchise because we're making excuses right now, bro.
No, I'm just saying. Wentz ain't had no business on the field.
No, I'm not making no excuse.
That's all I'm saying.
Wentz
ain't had no business on the field, and so
all right.
That's all I'm saying.
Hold on. I got a valid question. We're talking about Sam Howell, right? So who coached Sam Howell's first season? Ron Rivera. Do we feel like Ron Rivera was a good coach in Washington? Yes or no?
No.
Do we feel like he did a good job?
But he was the coach. We've lived through so many bad coaches, bro. I really don't even understand.
I'm about to say, I'm about to say, was Mike Shanahan a good coach?
No,
he wasn't.
Not when he got.
But what did Robert go out there and do? Robert went out there and played football.
Exactly. Like that's why I'm not buying these excuses, bro.
Robert had Kyle Shanahan too.
It does not matter.
That matters.
Robert did that on his own.
Kyle Shanahan has had the number one offense several times.
All right.
So he's a different specimen.
We're gonna sit here and forget this.
And he had Sean McVay
Are we
too.
gonna sit here and
Matt
forget?
LaFleur.
You can name all the
but they also was about to tank that season though. They was about to pack that season up. They was about to pack that season up. Robert Griffin said, "Oh hell no!"
And because of Kyle too.
No, not because of
No, Robert Griffin. Robert.
That's all.
Robert. Are we forgetting what Robert said that year at the end of the season? He said they wanted to pack it up. He said, "Nah, I told the teammates we ain't packing nothing up. We got a whole season left to play."
It's a little bit of
Kyle. It ain't because of Kyle, because Kyle was ready to jump the ship too.
Kyle.
It's because of Robert Griffin.
It was Kyle.
As much as I hate to say that.
Hear me out. What I mean by that. Over the years, we have seen over the years.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He was calling out a certain shit.
Kyle called plays for Kirk Cousins, and y'all said Kirk Cousins is a bum. So explain to me why Kyle calling the plays matter. RG3 had to complete
Kyle
the
didn't call
plays.
plays for Kyle didn't call plays for Kirk Cousins. He only
Oh my
Kurt
God!
was
All right,
only
y'all.
there.
All right, okay,
Kurt was on
okay,
Kurt was only there that one
okay.
season. Kyle after that, after
Kurt and RG3
2013.
was on the same team. What are you
No,
talking about?
after 20 RG3 started the next season after he got hurt. Remember that. And he played all
Remember that he didn't play every game. Kurt
no
played with Cal. You're right.
Kurt
You're right. You're
played
right.
two
You're right. You're
games.
right. You're right.
Kurt played two
So
games.
that matters none. He didn't play under Cal. That's what you said. So those 2 games
No,
don't count. I don't.
no,
No.
I'm
No.
saying
No.
them
No.
two
No. No.
games count.
I don't have no
But I'm
answer to
talking
it. No. You
I'm
said he didn't
I'm
play under
talking
Kurt.
I'm
You
talking
said that Cal. He didn't. Cal didn't coach Kurt. They wasn't on the team at the same time. Them 2
they
games that he played don't count or nothing like that.
I'm not
You got it.
saying
No.
that.
You already did, bro.
I'm
You
talking
already
about
said
the
it.
2012 season. We know RG3 was the quarterback. Kirk Cousins did start the Eagles game, and I believe he started the Cleveland game. But what did
But
he do? Hear me
what's
out.
the name of them didn't leave until the season after that. So he
Hey,
did
so
coach Kirk Cousins.
he only
Thank you,
coached a
bro.
couple. He only coached
It
4
does not
games.
matter. What
4
I'm
games
saying to you is that
out of
RG3.
24.
What I'm saying to you is that RG3 played under the same coordinator that Kirk Cousins did. In the 2 games that you about to name, the 1 game that Kirk Cousins didn't win, RG3 was able to win when he was fucking healthy. Okay, and
Right.
Kyle was calling the plays. So I'm saying that when they was about to tank it and pack it up, that person decided that he could go
Kyle,
out there and win. Kirk Cousins, whether he decided to go out there and win or not, could not do it. He has not been able to do
Kyle
it
won.
no
He
matter
was
what
one. He won with Kirk Cousins. That game against the Philadelphia Eagles, they won. They won that game.
and against the Browns. So they 2-0
And the
with
Browns.
Kirk Cousins.
They won. They won. So I mean, that's all I'm saying is that Kyle. Only reason I'm putting up an argument here is because we have seen now. It's been years later now, and we have seen that Kyle is a gem, man. Kyle every year has a top 5 offense.
He has a
every
bolstered
year.
team. I'm not about to sit here and let y'all keep doing that. If I keep correcting
He
y'all,
has a
y'all
bolster
still keep
team.
slicing it. Yes,
Kyle had
when he
the
was
number 1. Hold up. Let
when
me
he was
explain
with
this.
the Cleveland Browns, he was trash. That's the coach that you get. I don't know why y'all
He
keep
had the
looking
number
at
1 offense with Matt Schaub. What you talk about? They had the
Matt
number 1
Schaub with
offense in the
who?
league with
With
Matt
who?
Schaub. Kyle
With
was
Cleveland?
with Houston before he came to Washington. He was the
I don't
offensive coordinator
care.
with Houston.
They had a
And Matt
team.
Schaub
They had a team. They had
Matt
a team
Schaub.
that year. At
Matt
Andre
Schaub.
Johnson. Yes, but they had a team, bro. That year, the Texans had a team. That's when they had.
I'm gonna have to agree.
That's when they had.
Hey, V.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
gonna have to agree with Ro on this one because stats is stats, and if you're gonna count the 2 wins with Kirk Cousins, you got to count the Matt Schaub.
Matt
the number
Schaub
1
was
offense in
good
the
until
league.
they got built. Until they got that dude
Until
built for
Kyle
Penn
left.
State. Matt Schaub. No. They got a college coach. Y'all got it.
Let me ask you this though. No. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Atlanta's offense when Kyle left.
We can switch.
When Kyle left.
I
Atlanta
don't have an answer for it.
offense went from 1st to 15th when Kyle left.
Yep.
We just went over it last night. They went from 1st to 15th when Kyle left.
Go look and see if Roddy White is on that roster and what Roddy White was doing after that. They went from Roddy White to Julio Jones after that. Roddy White was no longer a part of the team. Roddy White was their leading receiver until Julio Jones' 2nd or 3rd year. Kyle is gone, but also pieces are gone off a team, which I keep saying to y'all that one player don't make this shit go. But y'all got it because these gems are perfect. And when Kyle was in Cleveland, I don't hear anybody ever bringing that time up.
Let me look it up.
He was
I don't know what he did.
A year though, right?
I don't know what he did in Cleveland.
He won 1 game, and the person that got him to 1 game was RG3. He was 0 forever. He would have been the 2nd team that went 0 blank the whole year if it wasn't for RG3. But that was Kyle, and y'all don't bring that up when he didn't have a good
They were 7-9.
team.
It looked like they were 7-9 right here. Yes, they were 7-9. They weren't winning anything. And
before RG3 got there, they did not win any games. RG3 won them their 1st game. After that, they made
Kyle wasn't there. Kyle was in Atlanta by then.
No. Oh my God. All right.
2014, yeah, he was still with Washington. All
right.
He was still with Washington. They were 7-9, but Kyle's offense wasn't good. It was 27th out of 32.
Yeah. They did not start winning until they got RG3. Whenever y'all decided to go look at that, it's cool. And I'm talking about I said they would have went 0 and everything if RG3 did not come over there. Kyle, with Nick Chubb was trash.
No, I don't think I think Kyle was in Atlanta by then because Kyle been in San Francisco for a while now.
All right, guys. You might as well just say he never coached in Cleveland then, because
He only coached like a year in Cleveland.
with a coach that Roe likes in Callahan, and he was trash there.
No, he wasn't in Callahan. Wasn't there?
Callahan
Callahan was
was
in Dallas.
offensive.
He was in Dallas. Callahan was in Dallas during that time.
Nah, you're right. He went to Cleveland afterwards. I take
Yeah.
that back. He went to Cleveland afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think this is my personal opinion. I think that, and I'm not going to knock Kurt and say that he's horrible, because I'm not saying he's horrible. I think that he's inflated. He's had the best wide receivers out of probably any NFL quarterback.
So why y'all not blaming Kyle for that? I'm not trying to hear that, bro. We making
No, I'm talking about throughout
excuses,
his
bro.
career.
We're making excuses. Kyle has had an inflated team majority of his damn career, except for fucking Cleveland.
What is an inflated team? Exactly.
San Francisco's roster is plain. They don't have a good they don't have a super roster.
They got an amazing roster.
Before Christian McCaffrey got there, we do remember that they had Raheem Mostert at running back. The drop-off was not that much. It's the name that we're confusing with the fact that they still had the talent there. Yeah. They have been good since Kyle Shanahan's been there. When Adam Peters was drafting players and picking players, they've had a top 5 defense probably majority of all the time that he was there.
Absolutely.
Even with Garoppolo being the quarterback there. Pretty Face was able to just get it done. They felt like they needed more because he wasn't winning playoff games. But Kyle was getting it done with Garoppolo. Cool, but Garoppolo had an inflated fucking offense as well with Kittles and Vernon Davis even. That's why they said that they had to do something else to get another quarterback in. They tried to do something else with another quarterback. They did whatever they had to do, but all they had to do was plug and play someone like Purdy on an all-star team. If Purdy had to play on a team that didn't have nobody on it, he wouldn't be the quarterback that he is, which I tried to say. You can put
so you saying
there or not.
You saying Kyle is not good? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying that Kyle is hyped up. I'm saying that Kyle is only been good on hyped up teams. If they're not hyped up, on Dan Quinn's Atlanta team, the Atlanta team won 12 games, I think 3 or 4 times in his 5-year career. They only had 2 losing seasons. The one he got fired don't even count because you didn't even get a chance to finish that, so you don't know what his season would have ended up like.
I agree there.
Every other year is a winning season. And whether they made the Super Bowl or not, they made the playoffs by being the 2nd seed if they wasn't the 1st seed in their division. All right. So, Kyle, you're on a team with a person who's a defensive coordinator. This same Legion of Boom guy is the head coach here now. Even if he never translates this number 1 defense, you don't have to worry about the defensive side of the ball. You can just focus on offense completely because you don't have to worry about this guy and having to fix that. He can rely on you to play your offense and figure your offense out because he'll do what he got to do for the defense. And I even pointed out that even though they had the 20-something defense the year that they went to the Super Bowl, it is literally because they were beating teams and they were getting passed on an extreme amount of times. Can you be better than that? Yes.
But that's how.
Look at Kansas
Hold
City
on. To your point, let me stop you right there. That's how I think. I feel like Kirk Cousins get a lot of his yards because they be getting beat up and playing a lot of prevent defense. That's my personal opinion. That he passed the stats.
When are they losing by 20 points? Because
all the
defense
time. All the time. Yeah, I'm just saying.
All right.
That's just my personal opinion. Definitely when he was here in Washington, that's how he padded his stats. It was plenty of times we was down. The Giants beat us 45-20 one time. The Tampa Bay was up 21-0 on the You Like That game. They were up, I think 28-0.
But we won. So
that's
why are you bringing up a winning game?
Me personally,
why
I'm saying no. It's an example of what I mean by
it don't. If you won that game, you can't use that. That doesn't even make sense.
How could you not use it? How could you not use it?
How if they won the game?
I'm just saying. For me, we get down. We would have got down a lot, and he just.
So again, why are we giving Sam Howell praises when we were down most of the fucking season? And
not
those
no
are
21 points. Not no 21 points.
I'm finished with this conversation. You all have it. I am finished.
What game we was down 21 points?
Oh,
other than the Cowboys game, and we didn't have a lot of the games. We was down 21. Now,
why are you naming 21 like as if you? First of all, bro, if you down 14, but your offense is punted 7 times in a row, the other team is in a comfortable defense. They're not in a stop you defense because you're not doing nothing for them to stop you. You know this. Why are we having this conversation? Like y'all don't know this, bro. These are padded stats that Sam gave you, especially without a running game. And you were down
I
majority of all of
disagree.
the games. Okay, you tell me a game that you up, that we ran the ball, that he didn't have to pad the stats. We ended up going down
He
and we had to pass
hold
the
on.
ball. That's majority of every game that he had to play.
I don't know. I disagree with that one.
I'm not. I'm gonna be real. The reason I
Go
don't
to
blame.
the game logs
Listen
and you
though.
tell me when he
All I'm
doesn't
saying,
have 30
AV,
passes.
AV.
When he don't got 30 passes in the game, you can say
All
maybe
right,
we was
all
doing
right.
something different. He's got 30 attempts in almost every game.
I'm gonna break
We
down
what?
why. Listen though. I'm gonna break down why a lot of people don't blame Sam Howell.
He
In
only
my
had 266 in the Denver
in
game.
my opinion,
Passing.
listen. In my opinion,
How many
in my
pass
opinion,
attempts?
everybody looking at last year's Redskins team, right? Washington team, right? The majority of us think that we tanked.
I do.
I
Do
don't think we were that good.
even if we were bad, do we think
We
that?
weren't down in the
Do we
Eagles game.
think
We was up
that
in the Eagles game.
half
You
That was
season?
lost the
another one.
game.
Do we think that after we traded Montez Sweat and Chase Young that we tanked as a team? If
No, I
you,
just don't think we were
The
good.
Patriots game we
that's
were
your
up,
opinion.
and
But what I'm
he
saying
the
is
Patriots game we were
consensus
up.
opinion. Do you think that the majority of fans think that we tanked?
What else do you expect fans to think when they thought you could win with that team?
We
Are
started
Okay,
you
off
hearing
2
what
and
I'm
0 though.
saying?
We started off 2 and 0 with that team now.
Oh my God. All right. Okay.
We started
okay.
off
So
2 and
what
0.
I'm saying,
Yep. And how
the
many did you
reason I'm
lose in a row?
saying
You
is,
lost 5 in a row
listen,
or 4 in a row?
You
listen. The
lost
reason
2 in a row, right? No, you lost 3 in a row. You was 3-3, right? And then you lost to the Giants and lost to the Eagles, and then they traded away Chase and Montez Sweat.
Who did you beat?
We
Did you
beat
beat any quality team?
no, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be the first to say it. No.
So why are we pretending? Like I said, you in this whole, and I'm not trying to go on y'all because y'all my guys. It's not me saying that. I'm just trying to ask, but like, are we being realistic? Or are we just being fans at this point? Where are you finding that we
Who
were
did we
that type of
lose
team?
to? Who did we lose to? If you
Who
want to
did
say
we
that,
beat?
who did we lose to
Who
though?
did we beat? Who did we beat? There's 32 teams in the NFL. So
You
saying who
beat
we lost to doesn't make a difference when we don't beat nobody. Who did we beat? Who are
you
the
lost
teams that we beat?
we beat the Bills. I mean, no, sorry, we
No,
beat
we
the
didn't.
Cardinals. I said the
Trash,
Cardinals.
trash,
We
trash,
beat the Broncos. We beat
trash,
the Falcons. We beat, and that was
trash.
it. That was it. And we
We beat the
lost, and
Patriots.
we end up losing. And no, that was later on. I'm saying we end up losing after the 3-5. When we were 3-5, we end up losing to the Seahawks, which is trash. We end up losing to the Giants.
They weren't trash. They almost went to the playoffs.
We end up losing to the Giants. We end up losing to the Giants. We end up losing to
The Giants weren't trash because they beat you. So you can't say they were trash if you lost to a third
that.
string.
No, we lost to the
You can't
Jets.
say
We lost to the
they were trash.
Jets. We
You can't
lost to
say
the
they were
Jets.
trash if you lost to them and you have not beat them in years. I've been saying this. You
We
can't
lost to the Jets.
trash
We
if
did
you
beat
don't
them.
beat them. You don't
We
beat them. I don't care about that one win, bro. You don't beat the Giants on a consistent enough basis to say that
They
one.
are trash. They were trash last year. It's not.
But
This
you
not
don't
rocket
beat them.
science.
So if we
They
don't
beat
beat
us.
them, then you can't say they're trash. That don't
How?
make sense.
Because
If you
we were
lose to them, they're
tanking.
trash.
No,
No,
we were just
okay,
tanking.
okay,
We were
okay,
tanking. That's my
okay.
point.
All
That's
right,
my
okay.
point.
If you
We lost
think
to
we
the
lost to them because
Jets.
we was
We lost to
tanking,
the
that's crazy.
Jets. We
We
lost to the
lost to them because we
Jets.
were not good, bro.
We lost to the Jets because we
All
were
right,
tanking.
hey, fellas. I think we have gone away from free agency, and we need to get back to it.
I know. I'm just saying that my only point is that at the end of the day, I'm not okay. Yeah, I ain't even make my points yet on free agency. I ain't even give my thoughts yet. So let me give my thoughts on free agency. I feel like at least with Marcus Mariota, I just felt like that was a good look. If you are going to keep Sam Howell as your quarterback, because they can run similar stuff, because Mariota, like Sam Howell, can get out of the pocket and not get hurt. I think a lot of those other quarterbacks, you can't. Marcus Mariota arm is not good to me, and this is just my opinion. He don't have an arm. His arm is a noodle arm, in my opinion. He can't throw. He can't make any of the throws that them other quarterbacks coming out can make. He can't make those throws. So I don't know why you would get him if you plan on drafting a quarterback, because they're not going to be able to run the same stuff. Especially if you get like a Caleb Williams or Drake May or the other guy Daniels, those guys can sling it a little bit. And so if you're getting them, why would you get Marcus Mariota as your backup? Because he's not going to be able to do anything that they can do. So I just think that would be stupid if them now. But saying how, because of the legs aspect, they can run a little bit. Both of them can run a little bit. Then I can see especially, and I always take this into account, is Dan Quinn coached that team that Sam Howell, that Scott Turner coach team, the last game of the season against the Cowboys. Well, Dan Quinn, I felt like that day saw, to me, how you would use a Sam Howell. I think, and there's no offense to Bieniemy, but I think that day when we saw Scott Turner use Sam Howell, I thought that that's really how you use Sam Howell, the way that Scott Turner used him. And don't get it twisted, Sam Howell threw an interception in the red zone to the Cowboys that game. So it was things that he did that still, is
And
you're going to get.
And when the Cowboys were playing for real, that was a game that they played for. They weren't already in playoff position.
Yeah. So I think
that was a good showing.
Right. So I think that.
So we're saying that the Cowboys weren't already in playoff contention.
What were they in playoff
in the game
contention?
that Sam Howell played?
Well, they were playing for the division.
It was for the division, though.
Yeah, it was for the division.
That's
division
not
was
the
on
question
the line
eggs, but okay, all right.
So I'm saying if you're going, I'm saying
just upset.
I'm saying if you're going to use Sam Howell,
they was in the playoffs,
to me,
yes.
If you're going to use Sam Howell, to me, that is the way that you use him. Is the way Scott Turner used him more than the way that Eric Bieniemy used him. No running game, no protection. You didn't protect him at all. Whereas though I think Scott Turner protected him a little bit better. So if they are keeping Mariota and they are planning on using Mariota's legs, or keeping Sam Howell and they're planning on using his legs, I think that Dan Quinn is referencing the game that he actually lost to Sam Howell in. If anything, you know what I mean? If anything. So that's one thing.
Wake the fuck up, y'all.
On the other thing, on the other side of it is Chin. I don't like the Chin pick. I'm sorry, I don't. His numbers. He had 2 good seasons. The ones he started, he had a lot of tackles, but he doesn't. I would pick Cameron Curl over Chin if I had the choice. Now, is Chin going to demand the type of money Curl is going to demand? Probably not. And when Chin did start, he did have 100+ tackles when he started. In the 2 seasons he started. So you get that.
I'm fucking like that.
I'm not sure if he plays special teams or not.
My bad, guys.
He probably plays special teams. So you probably get a little something on that front from Chin on the special team side of the ball. So that's fine. But again, if you're using if you plan on using if you plan on not paying or replacing Curl with Chin, I don't. Chin doesn't have enough. Chin doesn't have enough turnovers for me. That's my biggest thing with him. He has like 1 interception a year. You know what I'm saying? I think he has 1 season where he had 2, but you're not really getting any. You're not really getting a playmaker, which, in my opinion, that's what you need. It's playmakers at this point. So
I think we do have some play because I like Louisville. The tape that I've watched on him, I like.
Right.
I'm gonna be real.
But I like Quan Martin.
Yeah, I was about to say, look, the reason why his production dropped so much, they started to put him more in the nickel. He didn't play so much high free safety as he did, his first 2 years. So with him being in the nickel, I like the fact that they got him, and then you can stick Quan on the other side. So then, back to what we were talking about earlier, you're potentially talking about keeping Cam at that point. So you will have him, you have Quan Martin, you have Cam, and you have Force. So that could be a Force.
Right.
He's very good. I was watching film before we started. He's very good and instinctive. I'm telling you, the boy is good.
Well, let me say this too. Is with when it comes to Louisville, he doesn't have enough interceptions for me. He has played since 2018. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Linebackers get? Go ahead.
The Levante Davids of the world, and that's that.
Who you talking about, Louisville?
Yeah, Louisville only has 1 interception. So
they don't play.
Yeah, but he's a tackling machine. They don't use him in that regard.
Yeah, they don't use him like that.
Levante David gets interceptions because they play cover too.
I agree.
Yeah, they don't use him in that regard. He's not a cover linebacker.
I agree.
He's a run stopper and a tackler, like a tackle machine. Have you seen Louisville against the backs in our division? That's what I would have asked. Have you seen him against Saquon Barkley? Have you
smacking
seen him
heads
against the Derrick
Henrys,
against the Zeeks, against the Pollards? He's crushed these.
And look, speaking to your point, Vito, before we came on, I was watching Jeremy Chin, and that's what he was doing. He was not only had an hour backs, he had no Delvin Cook.
Yep.
You know, he had no big bodies.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I seen him take down
Yeah, I like
Saquon
that.
Barkley.
That's what I said.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Quinn is bringing in guys that are hard workers. It's not necessarily about the name. I'm at least
Yeah.
for me, that's what I'm assuming. That's why I said the only pick to me that really was questionable, and I understand it for depth, but I don't understand the player pick was the Clelin Ferrell jump. He has potential, maybe upside. He has really good size, but I told y'all my man that I work with, like my brother, bro. He's a Raiders fan. I have to watch every Raiders game, like he got to watch every Redskins game. Pearl was horrible with the Raiders. He was horrible, bro. On a line with everybody that they had at that time, and when I mistake, he was on the same team when they had Khalil Mack as well. And he was getting a lot of one-on-ones. He was not winning the matchups a lot, bro, and I didn't like that part. So I'm very interested to see what Dan Quinn is able to do with him. And one, does anybody know how long that deal was? Because I thought it was a 3-year deal or 2 year. The Clelin Ferrell jump.
I think it was 3 years. I'll check though. Hold on, I'm
Yeah,
about to put it up now. It is for 1 year. Only 1 year.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
I don't mind that.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, it's only for 1 year.
Especially with his history with Adam Peters.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I mean, but to Vito's point is like his numbers are not good though. I'm gonna be honest with you.
But we could cut his ass, is what I'm saying.
they not. I was about to say we can cut him. I don't think we gave him that much guaranteed money. And
No, we didn't give him anything.
speaking about him, what was the other guy that came out the same year he did from Clemson that we had on our line as D tackle? He was playing with Big Swag.
Who was that? I don't know. It's a good question.
Dang,
I don't know.
I can't remember his name, but we had let him go and he went somewhere else and started dogging when he went there.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was a young boy, chubby, brown skin, like 6'3", 6'4". He was out of Clemson too.
Yeah, I'm lost on that one. But I again with the Ferrell thing, I didn't like that one. I didn't like that pick too much. I felt like they like Vito said, to Vito's point, I just did feel like they were reaching. They were reaching with that one. But hey, who knows? I'm gonna tell you what overall what my feeling is. And I was talking a point about this with the Fowler thing. I don't like it anyway, because y'all already know I didn't want no more Cowboys. So I don't care who it was. I ain't want nobody. I didn't want nobody.
If it was Mika Parsons, you wouldn't be saying that.
Maybe Parsons. That's about it.
Well,
Parsons was the only one. I might have said more than said nothing. I say that's a good pick.
For all of the fans out there, you know what I'm saying? It's something that I have to get used to. And yes, I'm old enough to explain to y'all that I will never like it, but I'm getting used to it because there's nothing that you do about the business. You know what I'm saying? And back when we was coming up, free agency was fairly new. It was around, available, but it was fairly new. So you had a lot of players that were prideful that they didn't want to switch from teams that they were happy that their families and everything was invested that these teams drafted them. You know what I'm saying? So they were trying to finish out their careers with these type of teams, which is completely understood. As free agency came around is when I just spoke to y'all last night about how much the money has affected the game and why I don't have much money, because now guys are not necessarily after a ring. Slight switch of subject about free agency that got signed today was Derrick Henry to the Ravens. He's he wants a ring at this point in his career and not the money. For him to be for $16 million is insane for 2 years at that, which means that you're essentially getting him for 2 years for $10 million, and we paid Eckler 2 for 11. So a few $1 million, and you can get a Derrick Henry and then partner him up with another Alabama running back. I'm taking that almost every day, bro.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's something else.
About the money, about the value of a player working hard and wanting to fight for the money.
Now,
let me say this though.
I think Derrick Henry looked at his options, in my opinion. Can I say this? I'm an Alabama guy. Looking at his options, right? You can go to Kansas City. That's an option, more than likely. I don't know if they got the money to pay him, even the 8 million. You know what I'm saying? Um, or 10 million, however you look at his contract or whatever, right? He can go to Philly, but guess what? Philly already got Saquon. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been in that running too. Who else has been in that running that's close enough to a Super Bowl that if I go, I can be their thing to get them over the hump? You got
The
the
Bill.
Chargers. You got the
Yeah,
Chargers.
The Bills, like
Listen,
Vito said.
like
Yeah,
I was saying, you got the Chargers, the Bills, the Raiders, the Bucks. I mean the not Bucks, but the goddamn Bengals.
Right.
Okay, you get what I'm saying? Who who's closest? Baltimore from Tennessee. Okay, I don't gotta go far. I can go right up the street. I can play with the MVP. You get what I'm saying? It's more appeal there than a lot of other places.
No, no. I think
What?
I'm only
That,
saying that because of the money. Locating to Baltimore means you still have to live somewhere near Baltimore. That $16 million gonna get ate up by taxes. This is literally
You
a
don't have to live nowhere near Baltimore. If you've been in Tennessee the whole time,
you're
all
not
you gotta all you
listen.
gotta get is a fucking condo or some shit in Baltimore. You don't have to go Tennessee to Baltimore. To Tennessee is what, like fucking 7 hours, 6 hours
No, it's
in a car?
about 11 hours
In a car?
yeah,
from
yeah,
yeah, it's about 11
yeah,
hours because
Baltimore.
Alabama is 13 and it's right next door.
It's
yeah.
it's a little bit more than 8, so it's about 10 hours, and then to get down there with
Yeah.
Tennessee, and then we got to remember that these players don't live by the stadium. You know what I'm saying? So we talking about probably an hour out from the stadium somewhere, which is still put you at about that 10, 11 hour mark of being away from home. You can keep your main crib and all of that with the
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You could
but,
keep your
but
main crib being that close.
that he's only been in the league. He's been in the league under 10 years.
Yeah,
So he's had probably one really, really big contract. Again, we're talking about taxes, bro. Taxes take a lot of these guys' money, bro. Believe me, Kyrie
exactly.
made me aware that Derrick ain't really getting the bag like that. All right, but Derrick Henry has had a pretty good career. But what I'm getting to is that the life of running backs is ended short based on what the media has put on running backs and the importance of the position. I'm saying a player like Derrick Henry only takes this type of deal if the ring is what I want. Baltimore appealing place outside of the fact that this is where I can get a ring at.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I said if you look at the places that's close to getting the ring, because that was the first thing I was saying. Who can I add to get over the hump? And Baltimore is one of those teams that's close enough to a ring. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
But let me say this though about Eckler, and even with that, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I would have said, but
Um, yeah, I'd have said Buffalo though. I think he would have been a better fit with Buffalo. Him and Josh Allen. Oh my goodness, it'd have been.
Who was
Oh
in the
my
AFC?
goodness.
Who was in
Woo.
the AFC Championship this year? Was
they
it
Yeah,
Buffalo?
but they didn't get a chance because Kansas City is the one who knocked them off, the eventual Super Bowl champions.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is the closest team to a Super Bowl in the AFC without going to Kansas City right
Well,
now
when was
is
the last
still
time Baltimore was in an AFC championship game? Buffalo's there every year.
they wasn't there this year.
Ah,
Not in the
no, what's the
AFC
name?
championship game. They are at least in the divisional round every year. The Ravens. When
Yeah,
was the last
so
time the Ravens been into at least a
Year
divisional
before
round?
last? Year before
No, no,
last?
they wasn't. No, they
but
wasn't.
that was the Bengals, and
Yeah, that was the Bengals. No, they wasn't. No, they wasn't. It's
yeah,
been
but
a
that's what I'm
while.
saying.
It's been a while for Baltimore.
But that's
got
what I'm
that.
saying. Like if you want to go to if you
Well, you
want to
know
go to
what? It has been a while because that's why I said the record that I said 2-4.
yeah,
Yeah,
Lamar
right,
Jackson's record
right,
in the
yeah,
playoffs, 2-4.
right, right.
yeah. But what I'm
That-
saying is this just my opinion. The closest team to the Super Bowl right now could probably be the Ravens. They have one of the best defenses in the league, even though they lost Patrick Queen, which is a big
Oh,
loss in my opinion.
oh,
I'm gonna say this though. Let me say this. Austin Eckler's
Buffalo or the
numbers.
Bengals. I'd have went there before I went to motherfucking can't win the big game Lamar.
no,
Fuck him.
went to the
What
Bengals.
about Cam win the big game, Josh Allen? The only motherfucker that can
Who?
really say that shit, only motherfucker that can really
The only
talk that
person
shit
Josh
is
Allen
Joe
can't
Burrow.
beat. The only
I'm about to say the only person he can't beat is Mahomes.
is Mahomes. Yeah, that's it. He can beat
And
everybody
Mahomes
else.
ain't ain't the only big game he got to face.
He gonna have to
Only
go
one.
through Mahomes. He gonna have to go through Mahomes to get there though. Yes, he
Exactly.
is. Oh
Hey,
yeah, he is. Whoever
Exactly.
the AFC runs through the Chiefs, you gonna have to knock off them as Burrow showed you. If you can knock them off,
And
then
that's
you got
why
a shot.
and that's
but
why I said the only person that could talk shit is Joe Burrow. That's why I said that.
Would you
but
say, Vito?
I was saying that technically, even though the Ravens made it closer last year, the Ravens get their foot to the butt by the Chiefs. The Bills are in one score game against them guys majority all of the time.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
agree with that. I
Whenever
can agree with that.
those games, it's always somebody else or a bonehead call or something else. Josh Allen has played his butt off every time in the playoffs
yeah,
against Mahomes. Lamar
yeah,
has not.
I agree.
And
yeah,
yes, I can understand you
I
saying that
agree.
is the piece that could get them past. But if again, what if they get to that where it's Lamar against Mahomes again? I take Josh Allen because they run a system. And don't get me wrong, both teams run, but Buffalo runs in a condition that Derrick Henry is going to be even more effective in. They play in the cold of Buffalo. Could you
yeah,
imagine the type of Derrick Henry in Buffalo?
yeah,
Mind you,
yeah,
I also like to add, because I found a nice stat out today, that even though J.K. Dobbins is their number one, and they had somebody else is their a lead back before they got
Dalvin Cook.
Edwards. Gus Edwards was their lead back, and Gus Edwards is gone as well.
yeah. They still got Justice Hill. He's a good one. Justice Hill is good.
I'm saying that the Russian attack that
And then they had Pierce.
huh?
They had Pierce too. He got hurt. They got hurt in preseason,
Yeah.
I believe.
Most of their backs got injured. I'm
Yeah,
just when looking at the stats today when Gus Edwards got released today. He was their leading rusher, you know what I'm saying, since they started this Lamar train.
yeah. I mean, my thing is this. Let me say this though, while we on air. Austin Eckler's numbers are better than I thought they were. We looked them over today. I mean, he had 107 catches in 1 year.
He's a upgrade to Gibson.
So he's definitely an upgrade to Gibson because
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how we use him, his numbers are really good. His numbers are, I mean, I can't take nothing away from him. He has, he has two really, 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 really good seasons. He has two Christian McCaffrey like seasons. So I'm not gonna take nothing away from him. You know what I mean? So he's definitely an upgrade over Gibson. Now let me say this though. Is he an upgrade over Gibson in the red zone is the question.
Yes.
That and even if he is,
I think so. I think so.
He had the most touchdowns since 2018 or 2020 or some shit like that in running backs, bro.
Right. So that's the question for me, and of course it's durability, which he's,
still got Brian Robinson for the red zone.
You still got Brian Robinson. I agree with that. So I think that was a good piece on offense. You know what I mean? I do think that was a good piece to add on offense. With him, I'm going back to Fowler. Fowler's numbers are not good, like overall, to me at least. You know what I mean? His numbers are not good. He has one double-digit sack season, and then he has another season where he had 8.5 sacks, and then the rest of them he hasn't had more than 6 sacks. And most of the time he's only had 3 or 4. So that's concerning for me when it comes to.
On his behalf, I gotta stand in for the man because a lot of them seasons where you see the drop off, that's where I don't believe he was starting those seasons, or maybe he was hurt. I gotta go back and look at it because I used to follow Dante for a little bit, but I think,
When he with Atlanta too, or just the Jaguars?
It was the Jaguars.
Because Beasley was with Atlanta.
He went somewhere else for like 1 year, bruh, and then he went to Dallas and was out there.
And Jacksonville wasn't that good during that time that he was there though either, bro.
I think that's where he boasted the 11 sacks at in Jacksonville. That's what got him hot.
No, in the Rams, he had 11.5. The Super Bowl season.
Super Bowl,
yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was the Rams that he went to.
Yeah. When they lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots that year, he had 11.5 sacks over there.
I think that he's okay in a system because just like Armstrong, if he not the least amount of snaps, but if he's not starting, like playing all game, they are effective.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean he started 14 out of 16 games that year. The
That's what
year after that, he started when he was with the Raiders, he started sorry, when he was with Atlanta, he started 13 games. And that was the season. He only had 3 sacks though that season when he started 13 games. After that, he was with Atlanta again. He only started 6 games and had 4.5 sacks. And last year with Dallas, he didn't start at all, and he still had 6 sacks, which is
Yeah,
good.
that's crazy.
yeah,
You
it's
know,
actually good.
Absolutely.
yeah. But I mean, but again, it's just the 8.5, the 8 sacks was with Jacksonville, where he didn't start at all. He had 8 sacks in 16 games, and he never started. Um,
So that
so
I,
you
you
know,
Armstrong would be the guy that's kind of like replacing him or coming in for him. And you would imagine that they would be able to at least play somewhat together since they have a little bit of history together. Or you play them two together on third downs after Two Hill and after your James Smith Williams or your new edge rusher comes in and is able to hold first and second down. And then those guys can come in on pass rushing down, something like that. Like,
And then those guys can come in on pass rushing down, something like that.
whole scheme, I believe.
right? Okay. So this is my question, right? This is my question and this with Armstrong and Fowler a little bit. We know for a fact that Mika Parsons was receiving all types of attention, double teams, triple teams sometimes. I mean, I've seen tape where he's gotten triple team, literally. Where he's literally got triple, they would dedicate the whole half of the line to him and go man on man with everybody else. They're not going to get that luxury anymore. You know what I mean? You might double Payne or Allen or whatever the case may be here and there, but those guys are going to see some
Hey,
attention
and
on
I'm
that
gonna be
line.
real.
So I'm waiting to see especially for Armstrong. The jury is out for me when it comes to Armstrong because you have been what were a beneficiary of Mika Parsons. You've been a beneficiary of that. And so I want to see him when there is no Mika. And and people are
True.
game planning against you and not Mika.
True.
No, but see, this my thing. This my thing.
Yeah,
You
bro.
still, you
I don't
still. What one thing Dan Quinn did not have in Dallas is Jonathan Payne. I mean, is Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, right? That's something that he did not have. He hasn't had some dominant, I think, pass rushers like that since maybe like the Seahawks.
No, he had Grady Jarrett. He had Grady Jarrett.
yeah. But
Yeah, Demarcus Lawrence.
he only in the inside. He ain't had,
No,
No, you talk about the inside. And the inside, he had Grady
yeah,
Jarrett.
Oh.
but
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I like Grady. I do like Grady Jarrett.
I
But I don't. But is he Payne and Allen? Just Grady Jarrett?
Jarrett was monster. Jarrett was a
But
monster.
is he both of them though? Is what I'm saying. I don't
he,
think he's both of them.
he
I
might
think he's a good player. No, fuck no. Watch what Payne and Allen do this year, and I think this the one key that I can't say Dan Quinn. You know what I'm saying? The people that he brought in, because I think Fowler was a good pickup, but beyond Fowler being a good pickup, right? Because he could. I was saying, as long as it's not too much money, they don't give him too much money. He come in, we get him on a year 2 deal. You know what I'm saying, for some short shit. He's a role player because he can come in and get some sacks. And guess what? That's going to keep our defensive line fresh. That's the one thing that I've been complaining about year after year is that we have no fucking rotation on the defense,
yep.
on the defensive line.
Mm-hmm. And
I've
that's
been complaining about that
this is
year after year. And
the thing.
what Dad Quinn looks like he's doing is he's building something that can have a rotation.
Yeah. And guess what, bro? And if
Think
any
about it.
work, we only got a few guys for a few years, and then some guys that we don't
Yep.
know about. We're giving them a year to prove themselves.
Hmm.
Even with a year to prove themselves, it's giving us depth. When we were just naming the free agents that we were trying to sign last night, some of those guys aren't shouldn't be on your team, bro.
I agree with that. And that's why we said get rid of him.
Get rid-
However,
Right.
like a two heel can be useful.
Two Hill is on your team. Two Hills has deserved his spot. David Mayo deserves his spot to be a
Right.
you know what I'm saying? The Harrises and stuff like that, or the AJ Harris or the Dewan Harris. No,
Yeah.
they
No.
can have more formidable players. Now, that's what the draft is for. We had Ron Rivera draft. Kareem Curl may be him and Brian Johnson and Dotson may accumulate the best in Martin. You know what I'm saying? Right now, may accumulate the best the best bunch of players that he's drafted since he was the coach. If y'all can add somebody else, it's all good. I would love to hear it. But those 4 players are kind of like, all right, that's from the Rivera regime. Have to understand at a small window of maybe not being there anymore because that was with that team. It's a whole different setup. It's a whole different group of play calling and stuff like that. So you got to be a football player other than just being able to run the Rivera system. Because if you're only good in Rivera system, even if we like the players, we're not going to keep them because they may not be effective in what Dan's trying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yep.
I can agree with that.
I found out the player that I was talking about maybe 10 minutes ago. I know I'm late, but he did not play with Farrell. He probably was an understudy of Farrell, Tim Settle.
Oh
He
no, Tim
came out
Settle went
3
to
years
Virginia
after
Tech.
him.
He went to Virginia Tech. He didn't go to Clemson.
He went to Tech.
Yeah, he went to Virginia Tech.
Yeah, he was a beast in Virginia Tech too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffalo. Yeah, beating Buffalo.
Yeah, he's a beast in Buffalo. Yeah.
Because he's still there, ain't he?
Yeah, he's still there.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. I mean, we
Um,
just had Payne Allen and him together, and they didn't want to pay him. Louisville, to me, and it's the
And
thing.
Ionitis. We forget about Ionitis. Dog.
Yeah,
Cold-blooded dog.
Was adding, but this is my thing with the defense. We're adding Louisville, right? We add Louisville. We added Fowler. You get what I mean? Louisville had got like what I think last year had over 100 tackles. You get what I'm saying? I think he had something like 18 or 19 tackles for loss or something like that. I read.
Bruh.
Slim a beast on the edge.
On-
So
on-
we
wasn't-
got him, huh? He played in the middle, but he plays on the edge as well, even from the tape I watched. You know what I'm saying?
No, bro. He's that fast sideline to sideline. He's their Mike.
No, he is there, Mike, but he lined up on the edge as well. Bro,
Okay.
go look at his highlight. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it myself, lined up on the edge. A beast. You get what I'm saying? Him, and then we still got Jamin Davis, in my opinion. Moving Jamin on the outside, he gonna be dangerous. We don't need a Mika Parsons because we got something in the middle.
Well, on the depth chart right now, Louisville is right next. The Mike linebacker is still Jamin Davis, and they got Louisville on the outside.
Yeah.
On the depth chart right now, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Louisville played middle last year and played middle.
And they got Farrell starting over Henry right now.
Over who?
Yeah, but that's not
over KJ Henry.
That's not gonna happen. I'm just be real.
He might.
They got and they got Fowler. Fowler is behind Armstrong.
Yeah. But imagine, listen to what we got on defense, on that defensive line, just that. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about Jamin Davis and Louisville being the linebackers, you know what I'm saying? I think that we got, because Louisville was a captain. It's not like we got
Louisville had 125 total tackles, 59 solo,
Eckler
5.5 sacks.
See, this is my thing that I do like. Eckler, captain on the team. Louisville, captain on the team. You know what I mean? When you think about people that they bring in. Huh?
Be Pro Bowler?
Yep, Pro Bowler. When you think about a couple of the people that they are bringing in, I like it. I don't like what they've done with the offensive line necessarily. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, right now, the only one they got is Biades and Allegretti.
Yeah.
That's the only new people they got. Other than that, like right now, our starting tackle is Brendan Daniels.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, in my opinion.
And Andrew Wiley.
Bro, that's Brayton Daniels, bro. Remember, we was talking about him?
Yeah, we talk about
he went MIA all season when he was good to go.
Okay.
I thought he was injured.
Yes, Brayton, you're right. Brayton Daniels. I said Brendan. Brayton Daniels.
Remember, that's the guy who didn't allow a sack all last year. I mean, the year before last, when he came out of college.
Right.
Yeah.
But
And they talking about he
even
was garbage in the
but
preseason.
even with that, you still got Andrew Wiley on the other side, which to me, until I see better, I'm gonna go with what I saw. You know what I'm saying? And it was bad. It was bad. It was bad from
Hey,
Wiley.
and you know something funny? I see a joint where the Cowboys was trying to sign Louisville. I think, hey, you know what I think Dan Quinn is doing too? I think Dan Quinn is playing one of the smartest games in the NFL that the NFL has ever seen, and he is crippling the Cowboys.
Well, let me say this. I don't want that though. Don't worry about the Cowboys. You are here
No,
now.
you need to worry about
That
them.
ain't
You
what I'm
ain't been
saying.
able to get past it.
Hold up. That's
You
not
need
what
to
I'm
worry about
No,
them.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't get caught up in this petty cowboy versus I'm trying to get back at my former team.
I
Cause
don't think
that's we don't
I don't think
look.
that, bro.
No,
Worry
no, no, no,
about
no.
coaching the
I don't think it's
Redskins.
getting
Don't
back.
worry about what happened at Dallas.
Listen though. I
Whatever
don't think.
happened there, leave that stuff in
Listen,
Dallas.
It's
listen
Rivera
though.
did the same
it's
Hold
thing.
up,
not
hold
getting
up,
back
hold
at them.
up,
You want to have the
hold
best.
up.
Let me
Nah,
ask you
nah. Just
this. Let me ask
hold
y'all
up,
this.
hold
Go
up.
ahead.
Let me explain this. So, do you think that Saquon going to sign with the Eagles was a power? Nah.
Was that a power move? I think that was
Yes.
him getting back at the Giants move.
No, but for the Eagles, was that a power move or not? For the Eagles.
For what they run, I don't think so. No, I think they should have went after Derrick
What?
Henry.
Uh,
You are
the,
this
look,
their
this,
best
I gotta
player.
agree with Vito on this.
You are
Crippling them and taking a player away from them,
you
some
are
good ones at that, a Pro Bowl
you are
caliber player, and one who was second to Mika Parsons and sack. I think it's wonderful.
you are crippling you are crippling their team, and that's what I'm saying. You are crippling your division foe, and guess what that means? at least this year at least this year, I'm going to run all over your ass this year because I done
Shout out
crippled
to
you.
you, Vito, for
You
that
get what I mean?
statement.
If you are Dan Quinn, the best thing that you can do for you being an ex-Cowboy is come in here and beat the shit out the Cowboys. And if you cripple their team to where when you
Exactly.
leave, they are crippled, and the Cowboys losing all season, and you come in here and win some games, you can really get the fan base behind you.
But at
It's
the
a
same,
power
but this
move.
the
Hold on.
problem though. This the problem. Let's say
Give me a
you
second
do
to mess with you real quick because this might be on in your benefit. I think what Roe might be leaning towards is because we got to remember that and not picking on his original statement, actually guys and making sure that this is not like something to just budget money or save money. With crippling the Cowboys, Leo, you also just trying to beat the Cowboys and be acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to just bat a franchise or bat a fans by beating who the fans want you to beat, but you aren't good in a whole. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I can
Cow-
agree with that.
Crippling the Cowboys comes of let's make sure they're not as good as they were last year or the year before or while they were with me, or let's prove and yes, maybe you use some of that, bro. Maybe you use some of I am not in a heated battle with them on some beef and stuff, but let me show them because McCarthy is the coach, because a lot of rumors are blamed on him. Remember, we was talking about it when it was 48-17, how McCarthy was starting to score. The score was already settled. And I think it was to who was the job as who the head coach was going to be.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. I'm
I
just saying it's not
think
okay.
both of these were on the line because Dan Quinn, you weren't stopping them, but turnovers on the Cowboys and their offense was looking bad. Those points that they scored in the end show that, hey, look, we can still do it on the offense. We were ranked at this position, da 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 da. Even though our defense was number one the year before, they weren't number one this year. So we could get better. And I don't think that they hired a better defensive coordinator. That defensive coordinator is also going to have to try to run some of what Dan Quinn did to keep Micah Parsons happy because Micah Parsons is a Mike linebacker, but Dallas is not a blitzing from the edge team because he was blitzing from their defensive linebacker spot.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So Dan Quinn's scheme is to put the best player in position for where he wants to bring pressure from. So for Fowler, whenever he him, it may not have been Fowler bringing the direct pressure. Fowler maybe it may have been getting those off schedule sacks or those coverage sacks and stuff like that because Parsons is bringing so much pressure from one side. So yes, from that, but now you have depth where you're adding not only Cowboy players or former Cowboy players, but you're adding a few other people. You're adding a linebacker, which I said a long time ago that we have not had a Mike linebacker since London Fletcher. If Louvu can be what he was in Carolina,
I liked Holcomb though. I didn't think Holcomb was bad. I like Holcomb. I like a lot of what Holcomb did.
Holcomb ain't bad.
he
I
was,
did like Holcomb though. I will say that.
I
wasn't.
like
He,
I miss Holcomb. Holcomb was so good, and people may not have given him credit for it, even myself, that this year showed why I missed him because
Right.
we,
I liked Holcomb. I'm gonna be honest.
but he wasn't London Fletcher either.
No, he wasn't. No,
No, not London Fletcher. That's
far from it.
I'm not
Not far from it, but he wasn't.
I'm not saying that Louvu is with us yet because he hasn't got on the field with us, but his story outside of just what he did last year on the field, he was an undrafted player. He worked his way up from making it to a practice squad, making it on an undrafted preseason team to not someone getting injured and getting put in, and he getting put in. He beat out who the starter was to the point that they got. Matter of fact, when Thomas Davis got let go, they were trying to find things. He was somebody that made it up from the practice squad through preseason and became a starter. Look at what he's done on a team that struggled all of last year and mostly on offense. They were not that bad on defense. They were in a
well, they were bad at the beginning of the season. They got it together towards the end. They were really bad in the beginning of the season.
They were. But even on tape, like I said, I did what you said. I went to watch games. Everywhere, bro. He was, like I said, he was everywhere to the point that the commentators, like what's his name? The guy that sounds like Troy Aikman that always does our games. Joe Buck.
Yeah.
Joe Buck did one of their games, and he was like, "This is the first time he watched Carolina's game." And he was like, "Yeah, I don't ever really cover Carolina, but this guy is why he's worth every minute that I'm watching covering the game." He said this live while he's covering the game.
Yeah, I think he's one of the steals in free agencies. I'm gonna be honest. Mm-hmm. I think Louvu, man.
Hey, they say Jeremy Chin is one of the most underrated safeties in the league.
And played with the Eagles and Belichick.
Well, with Chin right now, he's behind Forrest.
Jeremy Chin was the starting safety for the Patriots when they had their really good defense.
Is that the same Chin?
Yeah. Yes. That's why I said he's not a bum, but this is.
No, I'm just asking because I looked up his journal and I didn't see the Patriots on his journal. All I seen was the Panthers. But I was wondering if that's the same guy because he played the Patriots and he played with the Eagles, right?
It might be his brother. Yeah. Hold on, let me see.
Because I don't think that's the same guy.
You talking about Chang? I think his name was Chang.
Yeah.
I think his name.
No, it was Chin. It was Chin. I remember Chin got us for like 3 interceptions one game when we played the Eagles.
Hold on, I got you.
But our secondary for me is still concerning because
This is brother. He only played with the Panthers.
Okay.
Yeah.
He started his first season, all 15 games, right outside linebacker. 5 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 2 touchdowns, 2 fumble recoveries. He recovered both fumbles that he forced, got a sack, and he had 117 combined tackles, 68 solo tackles, 49 assisted, 2 tackles for loss, 5 quarterback hits, averaged about 14 total tackles a game. He got moved to free safety the next year, played all 16 games. He had 107 tackles, 75 solo, 32 assisted, 6 tackles for loss, 5 quarterback hits, 1 fumble recovery, 1 forced fumble. So the guys know how to tackle, or he knows how to get the ball out, one or the other.
Oh, he know I do both, bro. I was watching film. Like I said, he ain't scared to go up. I mean, who was that tight end? The tight end for the Eagles, and ran up and smacked that boy like he's a little child. Made the ball come about him and everything.
Well, this is the
number
thing
86.
This is the thing that's concerning for me.
A lot of drop off the last 2 years.
Let me say this is the thing that's concerning for me. Because when you look at our secondary, you got Emmanuel Forbes and Castro Fields are on one side. Then you got St. Juice. And then you got St. Juice, who has had a horrible season last year. He had a horrible
Quick question, Ro. Yeah. Quick question. Is Castro under contract with us?
Yes, yes.
How long?
Hold on, let me look it up.
It doesn't matter. He's not an early round pick. It don't matter. It's not.
Yeah,
And he
His
ain't.
ass need to go.
He
Excuse
yeah,
got.
my language, y'all.
Nah, he got
yeah.
to win it
He,
for it to cost his money like that. It's not really that important right now.
Okay, yeah. So Castro Fields, and
no, I'm
he's
saying
not.
his play, not necessarily the money. I'm saying his play.
Oh man, he's terrible.
Yeah,
He got
he'll play
He's
like that.
terrible. He got to go.
yeah. You
I,
got Forbes.
after
You got.
looking at some film a lot more on Louisville, I think we're gonna try to use Louisville like Mika Parsons.
He's not. I don't know if he's big enough. I don't know if he's big enough for that.
Man,
So
hey,
that's the thing, bro. If you go look at, and I ain't gonna say that you
He
have
did have a lot of sacks. He do got a lot of sacks. He do
no.
have a
He
lot
got
of sacks.
5.5.
No,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, if you look at him, his hands and block shedding is super good, bro.
it's crazy.
It's super
It's
good, bro.
crazy.
As I said, with Allen and Payne being able to take on that initial front line shit, he's going to be able to see so much shit. Like, think
Yeah,
about all the tackles that Barton missed. If he's able to make
exactly.
those plays, how
Want to
many
make them
third 3-and-outs or 6 and, you know what I'm saying, 5-and-outs that we
Right.
have. You know what I'm saying? So I think that his ability to block shed is a way that we probably could use him like a Parsons, but I do think that we'll solely keep him at Mike linebacker. So why I said that is look at Deion Jones when he had him in Atlanta.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
I think Louisville can
I-
kind of give you that type of play.
Yeah. The front seven is semi shaping out only because you got $200 million men in the middle.
And
So
oh yeah, bro. To your point, I mean the crippling of the Cowboys, right? When you take that Pro Bowl center out of there, and they got to plug another center in there, that you ain't got no more Pro Bowl center right there, and he got to face Payne and Allen. You
right,
see what I'm saying?
right. But
So like that's the part I love about it.
And they
Like
have
I see what you saying.
let's
Don't
go.
go to the wishing well, wishing that these players come in and play well. You
Well,
know what I'm
not
saying?
yeah, but not just that. For me, it's don't get distracted from your ultimate goal, which is the Super Bowl. You know, I'm more
I,
big. I'm more beat Dallas than anybody. You know what I'm saying? So you already know I'm not saying don't beat
nah,
Dallas.
bro. You
So
cannot go
yeah,
back on
you
what you
know,
said. You
no, hear me
said
what up.
you
No,
don't care.
hear me.
In
No,
the
here.
season,
Listen to what I'm
you
saying.
said specifically,
Listen
you
to what
don't care if we lose every
I
game.
would.
We gotta beat Dallas
Yeah,
twice.
you gotta beat Dallas. Yeah, you do. But I'm saying if I don't care if that's the last worst case scenario, you done lost every game, at least beat Dallas. That's exactly what I say, and I still feel the same way. But I'm saying to me right now, beginning of the season, your ultimate goals is not just and I'm gonna tell you why I'm a little bit skeptical when it comes to even in that now. Because I don't want Quinn to come here for the sole reason of getting back at the Cowboys and not winning.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't
You
think
see what I'm saying?
first of all, I don't think that me personally, I don't think that's Dan Quinn's reason for coming to the to the Red. He
Nah,
was we weren't the only job that he was interested in. He was
yeah,
We weren't the only one that he interviewed with. You know what I'm
But we
saying?
the only ones that hired him because he did interview other places. They did not hire him. They went other places.
And,
To be
and,
honest,
and that's fine. And that's fine. Some of those places may not have wanted to have their defense refixed or revamped because maybe they want
recalibrated.
maybe they needed to focus on other things. We had a bad
yeah,
defense. And you have to think about the coaches that left the coaches that left places that had bad defenses, or did they have bad offenses? Did they
yeah,
need a coach that would help them? Like just different things. We needed a staff. Our
yeah,
staff outside of the Shanahan and LaFleur has been horrible. And because Jay Gruden was gatekeeping a lot of those guys, we never really got to experience them as a whole. This is an opportunity for us to have a staff as a whole. And now that we can go out and we can place blame in specific areas because a lot of these guys have not worked together before. So in this instance, outside of reverse, in this instance, Dan Quinn should be able and Peter should be able to fire when they are not able to do their job at a high level. Joe Witt is able to get fired because it's still Dan Quinn's defense. It's what I want to run, but if what I want to run does not work with what we're doing, only have 2 years, Joe, to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's hold up. But let me say this too, though. When it comes to the hiring of Dan Quinn, I feel like personally, the Redskins got stuck with Quinn, and Quinn got stuck with the Redskins because of the Ben Johnson situation, and on Quinn's end, because all the teams went other places, he felt like, in my opinion, Bill Belichick didn't even get hired, so that should tell you something.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I feel like he was just like, look, wherever I can get to, I'm going. And
But
on the Redskins, and it was like whoever I can get that I feel comfortable with or that's viable, who can actually mesh with what we want to do, whatever the case may be, where the fans won't kill us, we'll just take them too. So I think it was a little bit of both being a little desperate at the time, based on
I'm
other things that had happened.
But that's a
Yeah,
good thing. I think
yeah,
that creates a chip
facts.
on your shoulder. So these motherfuckers ain't want me. Dallas ain't want to hire me as the head coach. You know what I mean? Excuse my language, but like, if that creates that chip on the shoulder, and I think that that's a healthy thing. I do not think that that's a bad thing. That is very healthy in my opinion.
Some it can be, and it can't be, because I mean sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. There's no sure thing. But I will say this though. I don't It's a couple things I don't like, right? I would like
Yeah.
for Josh Hurst to go disappear a little bit more. I don't want to see him as much as we're seeing him. I don't think he should be in all these meetings. I don't think he should. Every time we see Adam Peters, we got to see Josh Hurst. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all though. If you go, and it's for all the fans listening, we got a lot of fans. We got more fans listening tonight than we did last night. So shout out to the fans that came back. Shout out to the new
Appreciate you.
fans that we got on today, man. We got more fans listening tonight than we did last night, man. Y'all listening to the Nature Sports Network. This is the Nature Sports TV, baby. And we rolling with the Redskins right now. Talk about this free agency day too, and we talking about other teams as well. So if you're listening and you got another team somewhere, we talking about y'all as well. You know what I mean? If you hear the way we're chiming in on the other teams. Now, going back to what I was saying, if you go back and listen to Adam Peters' first interview, his initial interview when he came, he didn't interview well, in my opinion, meaning with the media. His meeting with the media, when the media first got to ask questions, this, that, and the other. David Aldrich, for instance, asked really good questions. And there was a couple other people who asked really good
Was that cool?
questions. David Aldrich, he asked really good questions. There was a couple other people who I remember asking really good questions in regards to the team, where we were, what his plans were. And it was a couple times where Josh Harris had to step in for Peters, because again, whether people notice or not, Peters has never been a GM before. He has been on different teams and he has had different roles on different teams, but he's never been the head of scouts. He's never been a GM before. He's never been the head of player operation. So this is a total new thing for him. You know what I mean? He's always been an assistant. So I think Josh Hurst, to me, got a whiff that maybe he ain't as experienced as I thought he was coming in the door. Or I believe Josh Hurst, in some regards, is training him as to how he want things done. I believe that Josh Hurst, at least when it comes to Peters, not so much Quinn, but when it comes to Peters, I believe Josh Hurst is kind of the one that's running things a little bit in that front office. I'm not sure it's Peters. That's just my opinion. That's why Josh Hurst is sitting in and meeting with quarterbacks. And that's why when you see Peters, you normally see Hurst.
Well, to me, that's not a good look. Hers or hers point because, like you say, although
It's a
this is
theory.
new, he's been an assistant.
It's a
He's been
theory.
around the league and stuff. You gotta let that man get some growing pains, bro. You can't be hogging down this man's throat. Cause see, to me, that's saying like you done told this man something in privacy. Now you got to watch what he say in public.
That you might be true. That might be true.
You know what I'm saying? So that just rubbed me a little wrong right there. That's a little shady.
Well,
And all the stuff that we know about Hurst and his background and everything. That don't baby that man. That's a man. He's a grown man. Let that man do what he need to do to become successful.
So it just
You know
my
what I'm saying?
opinion, and maybe it's just my view. Both of these guys are new in the position that they have, and
Right.
I believe that both of them being involved in this process gives both of them comfort and allows them to be able to build and learn how to trust each other in decisions because they're able to see how each other is able to process what's going on. Josh Hurt, new owner in a new sport, and whether you're an owner before, what you probably are likely to be known to be able to do is manage the money or handle the money. Okay, cool. Peters, whether new in this position or not, your job is to manage how we build this roster. Your coaches, all and the players have familiarity with some of the coaches, some of the coordinators, some of the staff. So if Peters is again talking to the staff, Harris is in those meetings when they're talking. We're looking at how to build trust with one another because they're all going to be here for a few years. It's not many of the staff members that are on staff for 1 year, if any. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like the Kerrigans and the former players, but if I'm not mistaken, they're on staff for a few years. So with that being the case, then these guys need to be able to trust one another in their decision making. They need to also understand because I think not I think who was that who did he bring in for to pick Peters when he was pick the coach. He brought in Magic. I mean, not Magic Johnson. He brought in
The
Myers.
guy from LA.
Myers from the Golden State Warriors.
So Myers from the Golden State Warriors was speaking the other day on Redskins Nation, or not Redskins Nation, on NFL Network, and he was stating that his process in basketball and how they did the combine, because he was at the combine as well. He was basically giving his idea of how they view the combine, and he was giving Harris and Peters an idea of how they evaluate players in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? He was like, most of those meetings at the combine, so that everybody knows, those interviews are only 15 minutes. So all of those interviews with quarterbacks, with running backs, players, cornerbacks, different trade opportunities with other GMs, they only get 15 minutes a piece to be able to have those conversations. So Myers was saying that in 15 minutes, it's hard for you to tell whether you can buy into a player in 15 minutes. He said, but within his experience in the NBA draft, with handling and developing players, you have to know what questions to ask, and you have to know how to take whatever answers they give you and break that down and give a quick assessment on the players without involving your emotions. He said, but if the players have emotions, those are things that you look at. You know what I'm saying? Like how passionate they are. Like you write down like small key things and you move on until you give them like their personal interviews. Like you know that you want to pick them and you're going to bring them for their pro day and stuff like that. But while you're at the combine, these are only 15-minute interviews. So like I said, I just believe in short, I just believe that Harris is involved in this process as much as he is, just because it's a brand new experience in this sport for him. And for, like you said, for Peters, it's his first time handling all of this at one time. And I just think that the owner and the GM being on the same page is how you build that Casserly Gibbs type of relationship, or that Casserly,
Come on, Bobby Bethard and
Beathard.
Yeah. Hey, but this is why I don't think you should choose a quarterback. Because of everything you just said, that is way too much pressure for a first-time owner.
That's true.
And a first-time GM and a first-time quarterback. You get what I'm saying?
That is why I love you, because that is why I said I would trade out of the spot. And nobody in their right mind would expect you to do so, and the fan base would make you go crazy. But guess what? You buy that next 5 years of future if you sell that pick. Next year's draft is going to be everything for us defensively if that's what our coach is going for. If we already got a quarterback, there are 4 to 6 to 7 quarterbacks coming out next year. And because it's 8 on the board that people are looking at picking possibly in the first 2 rounds, nobody's going to be trying to go for a quarterback next year.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, Vito, just to your point, especially in regards to quarterbacks. Next year is going to be much better in regards to quarterbacks, because what we forgot and what a lot of people don't understand, and even when I make my points about Daniels and not Drake May, outside of Drake May, but Daniels, Bo Nix, and all the other guys, they are old. They are older. They are 23, 24 because of COVID. They got extra seasons to come back and do other stuff. So next year, that COVID thing goes away. You got Shador Sanders coming out next year. You got a whole bunch of people coming out next year. And they're the age that you're supposed to be, 21, 22. They're not coming out at 23 and 24. So I just think, most of the quarterbacks coming out this year is 23 and 24 years old. So you lose a little something. And that's why I say, for me, I know whatever, but Sam Howell is the age of the quarterbacks that's coming out now, except he has 2 years football experience already, 2 years NFL professional experience already. So you're not really starting over with him.
Coordinators is not going to be that hard for him in comparison to a college kid learning a brand new offense.
Right.
Or got to
Right.
dumb for him, having to dumb down what you would like to do just for him.
Right.
When you
Right.
got a quarterback there that already knows how to play the game. I don't care
Right.
how bad he did last year. If this team fired the offensive coordinator and the entire coaching staff, it wasn't this kid's fault. And
I
that
agree.
give Sam Howell some credit. And that's why I don't necessarily knock anything anybody has to say about Sam Howell. My views of him being bad are on what I saw, because as a person, it is up to you. You are 50% responsible for the decisions that you make. Even if your coach tell you to do something, you could do something different. Even, and like you said, he has legs.
Right.
Who I liked very much was able to use his legs in situations that deemed not necessarily right, that Scott Turner may have called.
Right.
And or
Right.
if he learned how to use his legs, or didn't learn, he assumed to use his legs to get himself in a better situation or put the team in a better situation. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that Howe was able to break that down. And I thought he was just thinking too much. That's why he held onto the ball so much. And I've seen quarterbacks like that before, i.e. a Patrick Ramsey, that once you got shell shocked, you start holding on to the ball too long. You start processing too long when you're starting to force trying to make the play. Now, this is what the team is doing this year. You built up the offensive line so far. You can use that pick in the draft with the number 2 pick to do what Big Son said and pick Joe Alt. Nobody will be mad with that. John Jansen, Chris Samuels were all picked in these ranges and had 15 years with the team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and to y'all credit, I will say this. I don't want the Cowboy players, but at least you do got a center. I mean, y'all know I've been begging for a center since Montgomery left. In Roulier, and even Roulier was all right. He was all right, but he wasn't dominant.
Roulier was solid.
Yeah, he
He
was
was
solid.
solid.
He wasn't
You
dominant
got
though.
you got to think about what Ron Rivera
Roulier
did,
was
and I
good.
say this all the time because Ron Rivera like blew our offensive line.
He
If
did.
people remember
He
who
did.
we had when Ron Rivera first touchdown,
Yeah.
and yes, I'm gonna put Trent Williams in the mix because Trent Williams was here before he decided to leave,
Yeah.
while Ron was here.
Yeah. He
You know what
was.
I'm saying? Trent Williams, Eric Flowers, Roulier, Sharif, and Moses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of them are gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of them. Every single last one of them are gone.
Yeah.
Why Brandon Sheriff was not still on the team. And with what Cosme did last year, the growth and the steps that he took, there's your left and right, there's your left and right guard, or there's your right guard and right tackle.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they ain't do nothing but put Cosby back at his position that he played in college. He was rotating from right guard, right tackle, but he was mainly at right guard in college.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If Ron Rivera would have kept Sheriff, or even if he would have kept Trent Williams, and again, I can understand getting rid of Trent Williams. I don't appreciate it and I don't like it. I understand it. Same thing with Quinn and being a system guy. That's why I said that I'm not sure about Curtis Samuels. You know what I'm saying? I would love for him to bring him back on a personal thing, but I'm not sure if we're talking system. But then I do not like the idea that Jeremy Chin is not, like I said, he's the brother of the one that I was talking about. He's 6'3", 220. His brother was 5'10", 220. So I'm not really sure where the height comes from, but this guy is a giant for a safety
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
be a
6'3",
bro,
220 is
Vito,
big. Yeah. That's
Vito.
that's
When you
what he
go look at
had.
his tape, bro, man, his tape, bro. Tell me.
I think that now that I looked at that, I think that signing him is leverage to try to get Cameron Curl's number down a little bit. I think you still want to sign Cameron Curl, but if you don't get a chance to, you have Jeremy Chin, who, if can play well, can be probably dominant based on size. Like I said, just a threat on being able to catch AJ Brown, catching those deep balls, and being able to actually put a hit on them. Because we got somebody the size that can, you know what I'm saying? Again, a linebacker that can run with receivers that can lay a hit. You know what I'm saying? That can try to go for the ball that's a little bit stronger than some of the little guys that we've had. And again, if you can keep a Cameron Curl, you're able to run one of those 3 safety sets with Martin, with Chin, or with Forrest and Martin and Curl, and you can kind of do certain things. So when one guy's beat, and like I said, with depth and rotation, these guys don't have to be tired.
Right, right. I mean, honestly, I think if we could get the cornerback position to come around, because I don't know about St. Juice. Maybe I mean, and again, he did have Richard Sherman, meaning Quinn had Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman was big like that too. You know what I mean? Because he's big.
And
St. Juice is pretty big. So maybe he's looking at him in the same light of Richard Sherman. I believe Richard Sherman was a receiver when he came out.
Long. St. Juice is long.
Right. So yeah, so maybe he's looking at him in the same light that he's looking at Richard Sherman. I mean,
hold up, hey Vito. What about Santrell? We talking about cornerbacks.
Out of the draft?
Yeah.
Santrell is decent. It's another guy that I really, really like, but Santrell is decent. I like Arian. Turion. I like Turion. Turion is nice, but from Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ooh, that's not Kool-Aid, is it?
No, not on the other side. Turion Arnold.
Okay. You know about Kobe Bryant?
Kobe Bryant?
Yes, sir.
No.
Well, let me say this. Our depth, and that's why I say in the secondary, my concern is the cornerback position and then the depth. Because right now, depth-wise, we still got Whiteside, the guy that we got Whiteside, Christian Holmes, Castro Fields on the other side, Kelly Caillou.
Trash. No, Kelly Caillou, all right.
Okay, so we got Kelly Caillou, and then we got D'Angelo Mendel. Those are the guys that's on the roster currently. So we don't
back Kendall Fuller.
Right.
But today,
he played for Cincinnati, y'all.
Talking about it yesterday.
Kobe Bryant, I believe.
Really only spent about
nope, that ain't him.
You know what I'm saying? Today we spent a nice amount of that little cap with some of the players that we brought in. Maybe not with big splashes as far as contracts, but those are at least all 2 to 3 million per year signings today. And we had at least 7, like 6 or 7 today.
Right. I'm gonna check on the cap and see where we at. Because the thing is, this is my thing with this too, and I'm gonna actually see what y'all think about this.
Do y'all think we finished?
No. I'm gonna tell you what my problem is right now when it comes to free agency and the Washington Redskins right now. This is what my problem is, and maybe others don't view it as a problem, but I do. I just want to see all the guys we signed outside of Eckler, because I looked at Eckler numbers, so I wouldn't put him in this category, but the other guys I would. We haven't brought in any top tier talent. I mean, and sorry, the guy that y'all said from Carolina, he's obviously top tier. Y'all feel like he's top tier, so we'll put him in there too. So we'll eliminate the middle linebacker from Carolina.
The centers are
and the center. We'll eliminate, but I don't know if he's top tier. Would you say he's top tier?
Are you a Pro Bowler if you're not?
Maybe. I mean,
over 2,000 snaps and 3 sacks in 2 seasons. Over 3,000 snaps.
Okay, but I'm not gonna put him in there because he was at Dallas. He was from Dallas, so let's just say he was going to bring him in anyway, whether he was top tier or not. This is a former Cowboy, so this is eliminating the former Cowboys, right?
Okay.
I want to see him go after somebody, and the money doesn't count for me. I don't care about what the guy's going to cost, but I want to see him go after a talent, or see this team go after a talent that I felt like, okay, and again, that's why I say Austin Eckler doesn't count. But I felt like you should have made a play on Derrick Henry.
I don't think that's going to happen because what I'm gonna look at the two big son. I did see him. I know who you're talking about, but I'm gonna go look at it when we finish. I think that's why. Remember, if you go back to what Adam Peters said when he got hired, and they asked him about the draft, like he believes in building the team with draft. So your big name should be the guys that you're going to build around. These guys are plug and play guys. You know what I'm saying? I don't who's starting out of who's coming in. But when you did the depth chart, outside of Luvu, I don't got anybody starting right now.
Well, no, that's not true. And Alleghetti is starting right now. He's the starting left
Right, right, right,
guard.
right, right. Outside of the line because that was
Right.
anybody because you can start and me and you can start and Big Son can start on the line right now.
Well, no, Armstrong is right now a starter on the depth chart. For Farrell is on the other side. He's a starter right now on the depth chart.
Okay,
And of course, Luvu is starting. Zach Ertz is the starting tight end on the depth chart right now as well. And of course, Austin Eckler, they have him starting right now over Brian Robinson.
I can see that.
Of course.
They still
I
have
wouldn't.
Sam Howell as the starting quarterback, and
Mhm.
Jake Fromm is the 3.
Oh, they brought Farm back.
Yeah, he's still under contract.
And that's why I don't see them going to get a quarterback after they got Mariota today.
Yeah,
Even
Exactly.
I
and
still think that it's possible because you got to think that they got 5 top 100 picks. And all 8 of those guys are not going to be gone because there's not 8 NFL teams that need a quarterback today.
right. Let me
And speaking of quarterbacks that's going to be coming out next year, bro, I don't think Cameron Ward is coming out this year.
right.
I think he's coming out next year.
Let me ask y'all, what do y'all think about the wide receiver position right now? You got Terry McLaurin. They got Johan Dotson is the slot right now, and then you got De'Ami Brown as the the second is the 2. Behind him, you got Dax Milne behind McLaurin.
He need to
Kashmir
go.
Allen is behind Johan Dotson on the slot, and then Mitchell Tinsley is the wide receiver
Dak
behind De'Ami Brown.
Dax Milne got to go.
So if you're building the team through the draft, this team has this team is probably one of the. I mean, this year is one of the deepest drafts with wide receivers that could be starters in the NFL based on
Right,
their previous
Price.
production. No, not just
Price.
I'm talking about their previous production. A lot of these guys in college were not just 1 year splash guys. These guys did it multiple seasons, and they were highly productive at what they did for those 2 years. It's a lot of guys that were 600 and 700 yard guys. Where I was like, okay, like the guy that was that Xavier Worthy. Like he's gonna go probably in the first round simply because, if not the first round, the second round for sure, simply because he runs the fastest time in the 40. They all even compared him to John Ross and was like John Ross didn't have that of a career, this, that, and the third. But today's offenses are way more wide open, and
Yeah,
everybody,
they different.
everybody, and you better
Different.
flip to the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So things like, especially with them missing the Tyreek Hill effect. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want him to go, and because teams wouldn't want him to go there, and think about the Raiders, them losing their wide receiver to the car accident and everything like that. So there's a lot of teams that could use that type of speed that may pick wide receivers that only had 600 or 700 yards or 400, you know what I'm saying, 5 or 6 touchdowns, and may not have been highly productive, but were splash plays. And like I said, it's about projection. Some of these guys may have projection that they're going to be really, really good in 2 or 3 years, and you don't want to miss that on day one when a lot of these teams are going to be picking wide receivers because a lot of guys need playmakers.
right, right, right. I agree. I agree. Um, Overall, like I said, it's maybe it's just me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just me. And again, you still do got the draft, y'all right. You still got other things. I do think this is heading in the right direction. I would like to see um I don't care what nobody. I don't want to see Wiley as the starting tackle. I mean, and that's just my opinion. Maybe they feel like they can fix Wiley. But Wiley is, I mean, as far as I know, he's 30 something years old, 38, 39 years old.
Yeah. No, maybe we draft a tackle. Maybe we draft 2
No,
tackles.
he's not that old. I don't believe. I think he might be 30.
Yeah. I could
Let me
see us
see.
using one of those one of those second round picks and one of those third round picks for tackles.
Oh, he's 30. He's actually 30. Yeah, he's 30 years old.
Oh, he's still young. I thought Wiley was older than that.
29, actually. He's 29.
Okay, he just
Well,
played.
I think that's good then. If he's 29, he got a Super Bowl. He's been playing around. Even it depends how much money we paying him. I don't want to overpay him because I
We
think he got a big contract. So I think we can get rid of him because he ain't necessarily. But I mean,
in like 12
uh,
million.
He
Hold
was
on, hold
horrible
on,
last
hold on,
year.
hold on, hold on. This the Wiley that came from the Kansas City Chiefs,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
29.
and the one who had the most sacks on the team this past season.
Yeah, right. That's where I'm with
Yeah,
you,
we,
Big
are
Star.
we serious,
I'm with you, Big
fellas?
Star.
No, I'm
What?
not thinking about paying that man no money.
Hold
That's
on.
why I said depend on the
Real
money.
quick, real quick. It's not for.
It depends on nothing when
Hold
it comes to him.
on, please. Hold,
Nothing.
hold on,
You
please.
get nothing, man. You don't even get a Cheerio, my man. If it's
Hold
the
on.
last one in the box,
We're not going to
I'm gonna
judge.
eat it right in your face,
Not going to judge.
straight up. No, no,
We're
sir.
not
No,
judge Howell if we're not going
no.
to judge Howell on his
Mm-mm.
because
You would no longer sit at the table and eat with the live and go out to the finest dining restaurants. And no, sir.
I
so
mean, what to Vito's point though, Vito say basically if we ain't judging how, then how could we judge
I'm
why?
judging Howell too. Y'all, come on, man. Can we run the tape back how I was on Howell on the season?
Oh yeah, and that's something else. And for all the fans that are listening here, again, we have more fans than we had yesterday. We got about 30% more fans than we had yesterday. We did well yesterday as well. Listen, fans, what we actually do is we call the games. We do live broadcast of every game, every Washington game. And if you go back on the Facebook page, if you go on the YouTube page, a lot of our other games are on there. They'll be on the Facebook page. They'll be on the Instagram. They'll be on the Instagram page. The link will be on the Instagram page for the playlist, for the nature playlist, which from this past season. And you can go back and y'all can watch and listen to some of the take that we had during the games as the games are happening. You can listen to some of the take that we've had on various players. That's why now we talking real greasy right now. Oh, this man is there. But during the season, we had, if you go back and listen to those games, we had some of us had the same takes that we have now. I know I mean, at least I'm the stuff I'm saying about Josh Hurst, these guys will tell you I've been saying it since he bought the team, since before he bought the team. So my take, at least on Harris, has been the same, but I had flip-flopped on different players. On defense, of course, for me, I like Derek Force. I think Derek Force is a stud. I was on the fence about Emmanuel Forbes. He did not play well to me. St. Juice, I didn't like from day one. He had a good season maybe 2 years ago. Last year was one of the worst seasons I've had. I think I've seen any cornerback have.
Yeah,
So,
he really digressed. I
yeah,
agree. He
yeah.
digressed big time.
So some of the take have stayed the same. Some of them have flip flopped. Like I said, I flip flopped on St. Juice, for example. So, you know, this is what we do is we actually call the games. Over the next few weeks, we're going to go back and run some tape back while we're on air so that we can see who said what and when did they say it and how did they say it so that we can see how well that some of these things have aged. You know,
Yeah,
some of these things have aged. Wiley, though, um, Wiley, right, he had 900 offensive snaps, which was 28th. It was, in the NFL at his position, and he gave up 9 sacks this season by himself. You know, he gave up 9 sacks this season by himself. So, I mean, for me at least, and that's before he got benched. Eventually, he got benched, and he wasn't in there. So, for me, I didn't know he was that young. I thought he was older. I thought he was a little older than what he is. So maybe Quinn feel like he can work with him. But my thing is, Quinn, if you're listening, or if somebody who knows Quinn is listening, don't wait on it. If he start playing like trash, even in the preseason, he looked really bad in the preseason. So if he starts playing like trash, get him out of there. Get him out of there. That's my only thing with him. This long rope that we give to these guys, some of them don't need it, and some of them don't deserve it.
Not at all.
So
it's a new sheriff in town. So if it
I
don't,
say we trade him. I say we trade him during draft day. I say we trade him during draft. He go to key for him. He's still young. He's 30.
that might not be a bad idea. To be
He's
honest,
still young. He's 30. He been to a Super Bowl. Got a Super Bowl, right? So you can package deal him, like I said, and I've been saying this for a while. Package deal him with the second round pick, so we can jump into the first round somewhere. Somebody that really needs a right tackle. You know what I'm
Who in
saying?
their right mind watch Wiley Field will say, "Hey,
thank you.
let's give,
Thank you. Come on, guys.
let's give some things to let them hop in the
Kansas
first
City.
round, and let us
Maybe
be
not the
stuck with
first
this
round.
guy over here.
You ain't getting
Let's
no.
go over there with him. He ain't even right here with us. He way over there. Go sit over there with that man. Yeah, right. Man, I'm not digging in my
So,
pocket for
You ain't
no
getting no
picks,
first
so
round.
no
I said,
money. I'm not even thinking about that
with the
man.
second round pick. I didn't say by himself. I said with
Who?
the second
But
round pick.
still, who wants him? He's the problem.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
yeah.
It's gonna be a
But
hard
my
sell.
thing is, right now we don't. I know why they're keeping them, because we really don't have no other options.
And I don't gives up 9
You do
sacks.
have options in the draft. You
I
got
don't
plenty of options.
So you're gonna start on your for right tackle. Your right tackle. You're gonna start a rookie.
Over Wiley?
Yeah.
mhm.
Yes.
Now,
I don't blame him.
Yes. I guarantee you ain't gonna be no 9 sacks.
not when I don't have a left tackle.
Right. Right. You got Daniel. I mean, we really don't have any tackles. We got Wiley is the best tackle we have. And again,
Really?
Says
we
who?
haven't seen
Says who? Says
I
Really?
disagree.
we got hold
I
up. Okay,
disagree.
How
look,
many?
okay.
How many sacks has Cosme gave up as a right tackle?
He's not a tackle, he's a guard.
And he was though. He was though.
He's the starting right guard, right next to
He
Cosme.
he was he was the starting right tackle before that though, right?
But he had Brandon Sheriff.
Yeah.
He had Brandon Sheriff beside him. We can't act.
And Wiley had him beside him.
Wiley had who beside him? Cosme?
Yeah.
Cosme's not sure. I'm gonna be honest.
Hold on.
Cosme is not.
Hold on.
Cosme is not sure. Cosme is not. Cosme is not. Cosme is not a sheriff. Let's be clear about that. Cosme is not sheriff. He is not. Cosme is not sheriff at all.
And Wiley's not worth it at all.
I mean, I agree, but you don't have no other options. You really don't have no other options.
Your run game was good, even though you didn't run the ball that much. And you've gotten a running back that can catch the ball out the backfield and make something happen. I don't think you're going to have to hold the ball as long as Sam Howell had to hold the ball last year. And that was a lot of the reasons why he was getting sacked.
Right.
If Bieniemy to us was selling the farm, then now you're going to have someone who's hired to not sell the farm.
Right.
Because you're the assistant head coach, even though that's the guy that, brings and runs practice and brings that stuff together. Your job ain't guaranteed if you call plays like Butt. You've brought in guys to help secure your play calling. You brought in Zach Ertz so that the quarterback doesn't have to hold the ball forever. You brought in Austin Eckler so the ball doesn't have to stay in his hand forever. The McLaurins can now find a way to not get double teamed. If you keep Samuels, or if you look into the eyes of a Marvin Harrison Jr. or the frame pause of a Marvin Harrison Jr. and say, nah, this is probably who I want to have as my backup wide receiver or my number 2.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that now you create mismatches, which every NFL team needs in order to have an advantage when they game plan against other teams. Kansas City, i.e., may not be as offensively talented as some other players. But yes, because they have Mahomes, they find a way to game plan the players that they know are going to be overlooked or underlooked during the time of the games. And they find a way to win games. That's what they're trying to build here. At least I think so. And with what we've picked right now, I don't think Wiley should give up 9 sacks. If he does, guess what? He'll be let go. Whatever money it is tied into him, he's gonna be gone. It's not even gonna be something you're gonna think that we're gonna even keep. It's not gonna be
If,
it. And
Vito, at this point, if he give
the
up 5 sacks, I want him gone.
way that they're signing players, I guarantee one of these guys will rotate and
Trade him.
no, because you'll rotate
I
him.
just want him gone.
I'm just saying we don't have any other options. We got
I don't even want people.
We got
I don't
Alex
even want people to
Okingwu.
come in the locker room and look at him and say, "This is a model guy right here. This is why he's in the bill." I don't even want people to look at that man.
But we got Alex
hold
Okingwu.
on.
We got Alex Okingwu to turn to.
Hold on. Didn't the guy that we just picked play for Kansas City?
Yes, he did.
So what if him and the guy from Kansas City can play well together? And Wiley
Well,
does.
he's on the other side. He's on the other side though.
Wiley the left tackle and you draft a right tackle. And he can play better beside somebody that used to be a teammate. Because remember, I told y'all that offensive line is best when you have chemistry. There is somebody that brings familiarity to him so he can help him out.
I'm just saying you don't have any options. You got Okingwu behind Wiley, then you got Trent Scott behind Brayden Daniels, and then you got Brayden Daniels, which we know, as Big Son said, he was calling for him all last year, and maybe he is a guy who's going to play good, which is why they feel like they didn't let him go, or they feel like he's good enough to start, but we don't know that coming off of an injury.
And nobody's been on the field yet.
But what injury did he have? I'm still trying to figure out what injury he had.
He wasn't there. He wasn't on the field for at least.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me say this though.
They had this man on the pup list, bro, and we couldn't find out what was wrong with the man.
Right. Well, let me say this. I do know that at least this staff is somewhat competent because they let Nick Gates go. They let him go. They whatever it was, they let him go, and he should have gone. Nick Gates is really bad. And Leno as well. So those are good signs, Redskin Nation. They let Leno go. Leno should have been gone. And
you know what they saying? They saying the scouting tip from Dallas. They was probably like, and that's probably who they beat up on. If you go back and look at the Dallas game, we probably could look at Leno, and we could probably look at everybody that got let go on that offense. that defensive line. The offensive line. I guarantee that's who they game planned against, and that's who they targeted throughout the game plan. So
that's a good point.
Once you've seen that weakness, we can get rid of them.
Remember, the coach that is our coach now was the defensive coordinator in that division, so he knows who's a bum on our squad.
Yeah. Well, let me ask y'all. So your predictions are they going to start Wiley? Is Wiley going to be the starting center?
No, not
if he's here.
I mean, it's not center. Sorry, tackle. Is he going to be the starting right tackle? I think he is.
If he's still here,
he'll start.
Yeah. I think he's going to be the starter going into the season.
When OTs come around, he'll show if he's in shape, and the line that they built together through.
I think we might draft somebody. To be honest, to be real,
I think that's on the other side.
I think if Brayden Daniels is healthy, I think we might go with Brayden Daniels on that side. And
if we start him, I'm wearing everything inside out, wearing my chain backwards. Like, yeah, I'm gonna really be in my feels, in my feelings if they start this man. For real. I understand y'all saying we ain't got nobody else. Y'all just name some other people. Let me see what they got. Because I done already see what he's capable of.
I think they're gonna start Brayden Daniels. If you start Brayden Daniels on one side, you draft another left tackle, you brought in Nick Reddy or whatever. Now you got Wiley for a swing tackle, and I think.
All right. Since we're talking about a left tackle, what left tackle could you bring in and potentially start day one other than the Joe O?
That's what I was about to say though, Big Son. You hit it. Okay, now if you do think about the moves that's being made. It do look like they leaning towards alt right now. It do look like they leaning towards alt right now, or moving down. To Vito's credit,
Yes.
or moving down. You know, Atlanta doesn't need a quarterback anymore, though.
And I think you
And
can.
so you lost somebody who you knew you could have traded that pick to in Atlanta.
I think you can get out of and still get off.
You think so? You think he's gonna last?
First of all, the
It's
first
been drafts that I've done that Joe lasts about the 6th or 7th pick.
listen, not even on man, just realistically, the
Yeah,
two
and no, not on man, but what you call that thing?
on
Simulator.
first two picks are going to go to quarterback and Marvin Harrison Jr. If not two quarterbacks.
I think Marvin Harrison Jr. might go to Chicago
Number
personally. I
3.
don't really see them drafting a quarterback,
I think they're
number
gonna
one.
draft Caleb Williams.
I think that's smoke. I think that's smoke. They got Fields. Fields, even though Fields has had his ups and downs, he really hasn't had a lot of support out there. I mean, he just got the receiver that he got out there. What's the boy named Moore? Is that who they got out there? The guy who lit us up for 230 yards. They just got him
DJ
this
Moore from Maryland.
DJ Moore. Yeah, so they just got him this year.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? They really haven't had any support out there. I think if you do give him Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, that's the smartest thing for them to do. If I was them, that's what I would do. Would get Harrison Jr. to rock with DJ Moore, and now you got Justin Fields, who to me has shown flashes, really, really, like exciting flashes. He got an arm. He can make any pass on the field. I just think that you got to give him a little stability. You got to give him a better offensive line, and you got to give him some weapons too. And I don't think that they've done that thus far. So I mean, I can't see them drafting Caleb Williams, still having Justin Fields. I think that would be a mistake if they did do it. That's just my personal opinion.
So if they don't pick Caleb Williams with the first pick, I still think that the number 2 pick is safe to trade because now someone's going to want to move up to pick. You know what I'm saying? And if he goes off the board, once he goes off the board, the Drake Mays and the Daniels are going to go off the board. So I think Alt could go to at least 4th or 5th.
Well, who needs a quarterback right now, though? Who needs a quarterback?
The Vikings.
The Vikings do.
The Vikings need a quarterback.
They do.
The Raiders, even though they have Garner Minshew,
they need a quarterback.
Al Davis is not going to not want a quarterback.
Yeah, they need a quarterback.
Let me see. The Broncos.
Broncos need a quarterback too. You're right.
The Panthers may be looking at one.
Yeah. Oh, you make a good case. You make a good case, but the Panthers don't have a shot because they traded away their pick to get Bryce. The Panthers don't have a first round pick at all.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, so they kind of are out of it. I mean, unless they get somebody second round.
Locked in on Geno Smith.
Seattle could possibly be in the running too. No, not with a new coach. They have a new coach out there.
Yeah, the Chargers, they got Herbert, but Herbert's coming off an injury.
Nah, they not gonna run. They ain't gonna draft no quarterback.
But does Harbaugh wants Corum?
Yeah, nah. Harbaugh sticking with. He better stick with Herbert or trade him to us. I'll take Herbert over Howe. That's right.
No, I'm saying that Harbaugh wants Corum. He wants the running back.
Right. Yeah, he wants the running back. You're right.
Yeah, he wants Corum.
I mean, are you sure about that though? Is everybody sure about that?
I'm almost for certain that's who he going after.
But who's to say? Because running back is valued very high early in their careers. So Corum in the combine, and most players did not do the combine. He looked really good. And like I said, the next running back up from him was light years behind him in the film on drills. Like they did like a ghosting of the drills and stuff like that. And he was light years behind the start.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the second guy. I mean, light years ahead of the second guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, because Eckler's gone, you know what I'm saying? You're going to need it. He's going to need a running back. And I'm not sure that the guy that they have out there now is where they necessarily want us. Again, Harbaugh's just getting there. He's going to want guys that he's familiar with and that knows what he's trying to do. And who's to say that he goes with that with the first pick exactly? But I know that he's high on him, so I'm not sure how far they let him go without at least investing into where he's going to be drafted at.
Yeah,
Right.
he'll be drafted. I think it's in the top 100, but not in the first round.
Okay, so if not in the first round, Herbert is coming off of injury. I don't think that they're going to pick a running back, but Joe Alt might be who they go with because they don't have
Mm-hmm.
offensive line.
Yep,
So
because that happened in one of my joints, so that could be a possibility.
so think about where
Mhm.
they draft at. Where do the Chargers draft at?
Right.
I think 7,
So that
if
would
I'm correct.
so you could but you could trade
No.
to 5 or 2 to 6 and still get a lot of draft capital.
Hmm.
Because you can swap picks and you can maybe their next year pick, or you can get something else this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I said, the hype behind Caleb, the hype behind Jaden, which I don't think is bad hype. Like I said, the knock with Caleb to me while we're on air is simply because he's already demanded so much. And by
Right.
so much with not proving anything in the NFL, like I said,
Hmm.
Merle Hodge talk bad player. There is an interview
Jamarcus.
that Merle Hodge did on Caleb Williams, and the way his face looked was as if Caleb Williams had committed some type of violent crime. The way that he was talking bad about him almost made me feel like Caleb Williams might not even get drafted in the first round.
I mean, but honestly, some of that stuff is justified. You telling if you go in there talking about any team that draft me, you have to sell me a piece of your team. I have to be a part owner. Are you out of your mind? What
Yeah,
is
and
wrong with you?
I think too many teams are going to be gunning for that quarterback. Like, I don't want that quarterback because not only is he going to have to face the challenges and be successful, but the team is going to have to be behind what he's selling, and they're going to have to protect him because teams are going to absolutely come after this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't know how much. Again, one, I don't think anybody's going to let you invest in their team. That's a big deal because there's way bigger stars out here that could definitely have a piece of a team, and they don't. So I'm not really sure the smack. That's what I'm saying. That's a smack in the face, and that's why
Yeah.
Earl Hodge was saying it like that. And I
Mm.
his draft,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the Jaden Daniels draft stock is safe. The Drake May draft stock is safe. Even if I don't like it, even if you guys don't like it too, it's still safe based on projection. The JJ McCarthy may not be early in the first round, but it depends on the steam that the quarterbacks get when everyone is picking early. Offensive linemen are definitely going to go off the board, but
Yeah,
like
my bad. I want to try to cut you off. I was about to say when you said offensive lineman, I think that the safest pick, if you're not going to get a Marvin Harrison Jr., is a Joe Alt. Not saying that Joe Alt's even going to be a great left tackle, but seeing the damage that the offensive line had last year, I think that it's an easy pick. I think that it's a nobody's going to be mad because the offensive line was so bad last year pick type of thing.
I mean, and honestly, it might make this line, especially when you got Allegretti, Biardes, Sam Cosme, and Andrew Wiley. If you can get him back to Kansas City for him, then you get an alt. You might got something there. You might got something there.
So
and
I don't think we trade back. I
yeah,
really don't think we trade back. I think Joe Alt,
part you
if
trade back though. I
I
swear.
would.
Who
Mm. I
third?
just traded back to 8.
Who picks third? Nah,
Brock Bowers is still here. Malik Neighbors is still here.
nah, who
Jaden Daniels is still here.
picks third?
Your man Terry Arnold is still here. Well, he's at 11. The
What's
Terry Arnold is there. You got to tackle the second ranked
Where did
tackle.
Harrison go? Where did Harrison go?
Let's see. Harrison went to the Chargers
Mm.
what's
I can see
at
that happening.
5.
I
And
can see
I can see
then
that happening.
the Giants picked the wide receiver out of Washington, Rome. The Titans picked the tackle out of Penn State. And yeah, so you still got Brock Bowers sitting here at 8, Malik Neighbors, who I like. I like Malik. Um, Jaden Daniels, Terry Arnold, the edge rusher. They two out of
Where they all
UCLA,
go?
and then
Where they
the
all go?
uh
Where they all go?
who?
Alt, Joe Alt.
See, to Arizona.
Yeah.
Right.
Drake May went to the Patriots,
What's
and Dallas Turner went to the Falcons.
what's the draft order, Big Sean? We know the Bears.
Uh,
I said, what's the draft order? We know the Bears are first. Who said we
we
second?
were second.
Who's third?
Patriots third.
Patriots.
Patriots are third. The Patriots just got rid
Cardinals.
of Jones, so the Patriots are going to be looking for a quarterback too.
They might get a quarterback.
Yeah, they gonna get Drake May.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just go with that. The Patriots may, and again, even if they want Joe Alt, they're not going to be able to get the quarterback of the future after getting rid of Mac Jones, getting the tackle first. So they're not going to do that. They're going to quarterback first, especially they don't have Belichick no more. So a new coach is going to need somebody to fucking throw the ball. So they're not going to build the lineup without having a quarterback. Brissett is not going to be the starter over a brand new quarterback after getting Mac Jones. So Patriots off the board with getting Joe Alt. What's the fourth team?
Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
Yeah.
All right. So because Kyler Murray was coming off an injury,
They're gonna give him another year. He gonna get another year.
no, I'm not talking about getting a quarterback. I'm saying that the Cardinals may look at getting a tackle. It's a possibility. There is your first possibility that they may want to get a tackle. But
Yeah, they gonna sure did it here. They got Joe.
who is their tight end? Because the guy Brock the opera is a possibility. Kyler Murray doesn't have any weapons. He needs a wide receiver to throw to. Hopkins is no longer there. Hollywood is no longer. Is Hollywood out there? I think Hollywood is out there.
Yeah, he's out there. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got Hollywood. All of the guys now are like six. All these guys, it's a bunch of 6'3", 6'4" guys, like a rack of them coming out. You know what I'm saying? So if you do keep the two and pick right there, it's because your threat is that Arizona may be the first team to pick Joe Alt. But I also think that they need they need playmakers, and they lost Isaiah Simmons on defense. They lost one of their cornerbacks.
They might go defense.
They may go defense. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It just depends, you know. And again, Kyler Murray is coming off of injury, whether he has 1 year left or not. Who's to say that they do not pick quarterback?
Yeah, they got So when you look at their run, they got James Conner at running back. He had a good season with them last year, to be honest with you. They got Rondale Moore at receiver. They have Greg Dortch right now, and then they have Michael Wilson. So they might get a receiver.
Exactly. And with
they got Zach Pascal. Yeah, they need a receiver.
They need a receiver. So what Arizona?
Yes, Arizona. Yeah, they can go
after Arizona, son.
He said they got Alt. They got Alt. He said.
Yeah, they got Alt.
They picked Alt.
Yep.
No, I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about what that did. I'm saying who picks after that.
Oh, Chargers.
The Chargers is not going to pick up left tackle. They may. But like I said, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Eckler, Nick Bosa, and Khalil Mack are on their list of possible having to be free agents. So I do know that Herbert needs to be protected, and they did not have the best offensive line, but one of those guys are going to get cut before draft day. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to wait till the draft to do it. One of those guys is going to get cut because they're going to have to pay the extra money, or they're going to have to pay whatever they was going into the season to pay and shit like that. So they got to figure out what they're going to do with one of those guys there. Maybe they hold on to someone to try to trade them or something like that. That's a high possibility. So there's another place where Alt could go right there. But there is another offensive tackle on the board. That's what I'm saying. Like you can still threaten to sell the number 2 pick for more value, even if you, just like the Bears are were just like if Twitter. Let me just say, Twitter was saying that the Bears could ask for our first round pick for next year, the first round pick for the year after that, or the first round this year, the first round next year, and a second or a third this year. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not sure that going back to the Cardinals, I'm not sure they pick. I'm not sure they pick. They got DJ Humphries, and then they still got Paris Campbell.
They don't.
Purse Johnson at right tackle, DJ Humphries at left.
Yeah, that's not
Kelvin Beachum
bad.
behind that. So I'm not sure they go line.
That's why I
Their
said
line is not horrible.
it's not the line. It was they don't have anybody to throw the ball to.
Yeah, their line is not horrible.
And James Conner is okay, but they still got to figure that running back situation out. Like for the future, James Conner
Yeah,
really the answer for the future. And I don't think they go running back first this year because it's not like
Mm-hmm.
it's not a running back that's like Bijan Robinson right now outside of Corsom that's like demanding first 5 picks. You know what I'm saying? So that's in the first 5. I don't think that Corsum's going that fast. Outside of the Chargers, and again, the Chargers need playmakers. I would probably go wide receiver, but because the draft is deep in wide receiver, maybe they like someone else that would go a little bit later. And who's to say that they don't trade into the first round with one of those players that we're talking about that they may not be able to resign or want to resign and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Who's after the Chargers?
Giants.
The Giants aren't going to pick a tackle. They just invested in the 2 that they drafted a couple of years ago. What's after that?
Titans. They
The
got a Titan.
the Titans just got rid of their franchise player in Derrick Henry. The Chargers may want to get the running back there because they would lose him to the Titans if you're talking about rebuilding something. They already have a quarterback in Will Levis and the other kid that they're waiting to groom a little bit more, but Will Levis got a little ahead of him right now. So Will Levis would be their starter right now. Not that they couldn't go quarterback, but I don't think you keep trying to go up and down that scale when you just got rid of Derrick Henry. You go with Will Levis and try to get him some playmakers. Their line wasn't the problem. I think it was maybe play calling and scheme because you had Derrick Henry and had to satisfy that and didn't figure out you had Levis until later. They could go line, but they haven't had a playmaker down there since AJ Brown.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
And like I said,
Yep.
the Romes and the neighbors are not going to sit around till 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's what I said. Alt is a safe pick, but is it the pick that you have to pick it to without being able to get more capital by moving back? Like I said, the Bears are getting ready to supposedly get
The
a lot.
Chargers to getting the tackle. The Chargers would get the tackle.
Okay, so if you
They
again,
got one. They got one good one with Sean Slater. So it wouldn't be a left. It'd be a right. They got one good one with Sean Slater. Is really good.
and Alt would be your left tackle. So again, you can move Alt. You can see if he's good enough to be interchangeable and all of that, you can do that. But I know that teams also like to make sure their players can do that first before they run and make that pick. So it would
Right.
depend on his pro day if he's invited to go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that that's not the pick, but again, if Joe Alt is your guy at left tackle, then you do make it at number 2. And like Point said, nobody will be mad at you if you do that. I personally am moving back because I think that other teams would like to get at that number 2 spot. And I think that if somebody moves up to get somebody else, then it's going to threaten the Chargers to think a little bit, you know what I'm saying, think twice about just picking a tackle with that pick because you don't have you got a running back now, but he's not Eckler. You lost a lot of your offensive production through the running back that you had. And the one that you have is not bad, but again, what your new coach wants is going to be different than what was already being built. So that
Right.
has to be something there. Now, again, didn't Joe Alt play for Notre Dame?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Notre Dame was a rival to Michigan. If he had to go up against that and knows he's good, John Harbaugh is gonna know the talent. So he will pick
They
that.
they do need somebody on the other side though, because the other guy, the other side is really bad, like really bad. You know what I mean? Like
So
really bad.
isn't
Yeah.
it a right tackle coming out of the draft that is highly up there, just like Alt, but just not just on the other side?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I believe so though. It's a couple tackles
Um,
coming out.
this tackles. I'm not sure what side they on, but
They
it's
just
it's one out of Oregon State coming out for it.
yeah, they would make Alt have to switch. They would be like, bro, you got to switch.
Yeah, that one is on the other side is really bad. So, and they might get somebody. You know what I'm saying? Joe Alt is number one, undoubtedly the number one tackle coming out.
Yeah.
You got the
Then
guy from Penn State. It's the guy from Penn State, Fashanu. After that is Fuaga from Oregon State.
Yeah.
Then you got the boy from Alabama, Latram,
JC. Uh-huh.
and then Mims from Georgia. Those are the top 5 tackles.
Mims. I like Mims though.
Yeah,
But like I said, so do you like
But
all
then you still got other tackles that's coming out that's there too. But you know, in the first round though,
and but that's what I
two
said.
more.
What I said. Do you like all more than the value of the overall goal for the team? Is it about the team or the top talent? Because if it's about the top talent, if Marvin Harrison Jr. is on the board, I am going to regret. I don't care how good your
I
offense.
agree.
I'm going to regret that we had the opportunity to get him over a
Right.
tackle. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, tackle, like I said, the Curtis Samuels and the John Jansen's lasted and were formidable for years. So if that's what you can get out of Joe Alt, I'm not mad at that. But Randy Moss existed at one point in time.
Yeah,
All right. And what he
yeah,
Look,
was so much more
yeah,
than Curtis Samuels and,
and
and
and look,
John
Vito,
Jansen was ever was. All right.
a
yeah,
courtesy to your comment, Kingsley, the BYU tackle, we pick at 36. He's projected to go at 37.
yeah, yeah.
You know what
I,
I'm saying? So
so you still can
pick,
get a tackle.
go ahead
That's
and
yeah.
get. You see what I'm saying? You still got tackles that's
And
on
not
the
only that,
board.
with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, with the success that they've had coming out, I do think you would be a fool almost to
The dude out of
yeah,
Arizona is good.
to pass up
Morgan.
Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm just saying with the instant success that both of them had for their teams, like whether people like it or not, a Kirk Cousin led team was 12-4, and mainly because of Jefferson. Jefferson was a automatic hit. So, and Jamar Chase has been to a Super Bowl already.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I don't think you do yourself any justice by passing up Marvin Harrison Jr. And it's something that can come back to haunt you if he
Okay.
explodes.
Especially if he goes.
Okay. So look, in my joint, we didn't get him. But you still got Brock Bowers on the board, Malik Neighbors,
I like Neighbors
Terry
too.
on.
Don't get it twisted. I like
You know
Neighbors
what I'm
too.
saying?
But
So
I think if you don't get Harrison,
who would I get? You know what I'm saying? In that
you
in that scenario coming up,
you
you
have to
got Brock
draft him.
Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Jaden Daniels, Terry Arnold. In
I think
those four,
I think you
between
have to
those
draft
four,
him.
who do I snap?
Neighbors. I would snatch Neighbors. But
Vito, what's your vote?
You say out of what for?
Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Jaden Daniels, and Terry Arnold.
Brock Bowers, Jayden Daniels, Terry Arnold, and who? Malik
Malik
Neighbors.
Neighbors.
I would get Neighbors. That would be a no brainer. One because
Yeah.
I'm not sure about what they're gonna do with Curtis Samuels. And if you don't have Curtis Samuels, Dotson is good. And I'm not saying he can't play the two, but again, if you don't get Marvin Harrison Jr., you can't pass up on playmakers that will instantly
right.
make your offense better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that's what I said. Like Shawty gets so much separation in his plays that you can't possibly assume that you want to miss out on that type of, you know what I'm saying, that type of success, especially when you have a Terry McLaurin.
That's
You
and
know,
that and especially like I said, if Marvin Harrison explodes, then regardless, and you know what you say, it's going to be a lot of people that's going to be looking at you with the side eye, saying, oh, "That's why you should have got him."
and if you look at the Minnesota Vikings before they got Dante Culpepper, remember he was not drafted the same year that Randy Moss was drafted.
Right,
They had Randall
right.
Cunningham for a whole year, maybe
Yeah,
two, before
he was.
Dante Culpepper
He was
even got the start. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So Randy Moss was such a compliment to Chris Carter. That's why I said Chris,
yeah,
a legend with
yeah.
that many catches, that was a number two that should have been a number one. Chris Carter. Chris Carter was
Not to
always
mention
a
Jake
number one.
Reed. They had exactly what we
Yes,
have.
yes, that's what I'm saying. And Randy Moss made an immediate difference. He was a number two his first day. After his first game or after his second game, he was the number one. Even if he was on the other side, it was such a mismatch that guess what? We got two number one receivers.
He was still the number 3, to be honest.
No, I'm
But
talking about Randy
yeah,
Moss.
Yeah, I'm talking about Moss. They still played him as the number 3 for real.
No. They
But
moved him around. Yes, in
yeah,
formations and all, they might have put him in the slot, but his routes was always the same route.
Yeah,
You
oh
know?
yeah, it was. It was that 9 route, the 9 route, the 9 route, the 9 route. Yeah, it was instant though. It was instant. Like instantly tore the whole league up. Went to the NFC Championship game, as if and no offense to any of the guys who's come here before, in between the whole Redskin era, Snyder era, whatever. If they could if they have an opportunity to duplicate that, I think you got to take a shot at it.
Yes.
I think you got to take a shot at it
I mean,
because
and honest, like I said, I personally, we can you put this on the page where we on record. I personally am a fan more of Malik Neighbors, but I do understand that 6'4"
young,
compared to 6'0",
right?
okay, 6'4", 200 and some pounds,
Yeah,
all right, and can fly.
yeah,
And
yeah.
even if you just run a 9 route, remember we said for ourselves, Sam Howell has a gun. We don't go downfield enough. I know I yelled that on the chat for at least 2-3 seasons already. We don't go downfield enough. I don't care what cornerback is in the NFC East. Even with Diggs, he is not 6'4".
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can now challenge the best cornerbacks who
yeah,
don't have their coordinator, who may not have the same system, and who may have to play in a different technique. You can immediately take advantage of this the first year.
yeah. I agree with that. That's why I said I don't see Chicago passing it up. I don't see Chicago passing it up.
They took Caleb.
They took yeah, I get it. But let me go to these mock draft. I mean, let me go to see what
But
anybody,
look,
because I don't see them. I really don't see them passing up Harrison Jr. I mean, and
I mean, hey, they've done it.
who would you take, Caleb Williams or Justin Fields right now?
On Madden,
Who, me?
on
In
Madden,
general,
I take Justin Fields. In real life, I ain't gonna hold you. I might take Caleb over Justin, and I don't mean this in any knock to Justin. I think that the time that you're going to need to develop Justin, I think that Caleb can probably get better faster in that system because they kept their offensive coordinator, you know what I'm saying, and they kept their coach, so they're going to do this again.
they
And
got them getting Caleb.
I think that Caleb could develop faster in some of his talents a little bit faster in what they're trying to do. He's not going to try to run outside of the pocket and keep the ball and try to run it and make plays that way. So they don't have to try to design an offense that takes advantage of that talent. And I think that that coaching staff may not be talented enough to do what Justin Fields is capable of doing. That's where I think the problem is.
Yeah. And
You
that's why I say if we do pass up, especially if we pass up Harrison Jr. for a quarterback, I just think it's idiotic. I just think it's idiotic, especially because you signed Mariota. Because I'm telling you now, Mariota can't run nothing that them quarterbacks gonna be running. He ain't gonna be his little doodle arm. Can't make none of those throws.
Well, what
So
I will say is that if you remember Mariota from Oregon, if you're throwing to a Marvin Harrison Jr. and a McLaurin and a
right,
Dotson, we got
right,
some guys that can smoke. Even if you add a
right.
Malik Neighbors in that conversation on a trading back type of a situation and you want to go that route, you've got guys that can really smoke, you know what I'm saying, down the field. And Mariota was not shy on the downfield ball in anywhere he's been.
But
It's the fact that I don't think he's had that type of speed to throw to.
if you know, he's not shy, but he only throws them in the middle of the field because he can't get it to them sidelines, bruh.
Okay,
Trust me.
okay, I got what you're saying.
You see what
Well,
I'm
I mean,
saying?
well, I don't really think you got to get it anywhere near the sidelines. I think you just got to get it up there for Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, but when that ball floating, you already know them floaters. You know what I'm saying? You get a defense too much time to really make a play on it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so that's why I say his arm strength is just nowhere near the guys that's coming out now. So what are y'all going to run with him? That's why I say it was a good look for Sam Howell. Only because, not to say Sam Howell got a gun too, except Sam Howell got some wheels, just like Mariota got some wheels. So you could run some similar stuff with them. You know what I'm saying? Those other guys too small. They can't take a, they ain't gonna be able to get, you know what I'm saying, knocked around like like Sam Howell or Mariota can. You know what I'm saying? The other guys, Williams or May or definitely not Daniels. Daniels didn't even want to get on the scale. You know what I'm saying? Daniels, that's why he didn't go and do the little little pre-workout because he got to get on the scale. He didn't even want to get on the scale. That's why he ain't do the
I'm
pre-workout.
telling you. My concern with days, I like the boy game, though. My only concern is, man, when he get hit, Slim, that ball come out.
You see what I'm
Like
saying?
it's not funny for real, but the way the ball come out. Don't y'all remember Sonic back in the day, and Sonic hit that spike, and all them rings just pop out. Bring. That's how the ball come out. Bring. You hear me? So that's very concerning to me with Jane Daniels because I was watching his film, and then I'm watching edge rusher film that I'm looking at. I'll just say his name, Darius Robinson. I was looking at him, and he made him fumble. He crunched him a couple times and sacked him. Oh my God.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
know,
He little, man. So
So
yeah.
to be
you
honest,
can't.
my concern with Jay Daniels is not even his size. Because if you're looking at the team we have now, Fromm is a quarterback that you can get rid of or put on the practice squad so you don't have to take up that roster spot during the season. You could still pick Jaden Daniels if you really, really, really like
Hey
him.
man, you talk about putting my man
But
Fromm on the practice squad, man.
no, because
He don't even belong at man. Stop it.
because he was there
He
before
he he the
field.
he the preseason goat. That's the
He's not
regular
No, I'm
season.
playing.
for
I'm
one.
playing, man.
But
How many times my man
if
Fromm
you
held it down last year?
like Jaden Daniels a lot, like if he really splashes and really sells himself to you, you like him. If you keep Howe, you do not have to use him this year. You can let him get bigger. You can put him on a workout regimen. You can get his body bulked up to 200 pounds. He's 180 pounds, probably
Right.
185. So 15 pounds in a year of training with coaches and all of this stuff, you can get the weight. You know what I'm saying? So that's not more concerning than him having to play right away. Him having to play right away would scare me because of the injury that RG3 took and how often that injury happens in this league. That's what bothers me with having to pick him for us. But if I were to say, like, hey, if he's going to sit for a season, I'm cool with picking him. I think because he's that size, he's going to drop in the draft. Because some other guys were able to compete during the combine, I think that these guys that did not compete will pay for that during the draft because, again, it's a selling point for people who are investing in you. Yes, these guys will go out and perform during the pro days, but I'm not really sold on that whole little I'm only working out for one team or not everybody gets to draft me Caleb Williams type of thing. I just
It's
don't.
not enough teams that need a quarterback, to be honest.
So the thing is that the at least the notion on Twitter and around the NFL so far, at least the buzz is that the again how I told you guys how they sold the playoffs this year, these type of quarterbacks are not coming out in this amount in the next couple of years. In the next couple of years, they have some quarterbacks that will be coming out, but they don't have them this highly projected as there's many coming out. Like what Rose said with that COVID year and so many people coming out, it's a lot of quarterbacks at this tier that where it would normally be 2, 3 guys where you would say, all right, they're first round, and then everybody else falls under that. There's at least 4 guys, maybe 5, that would be considered going into the first round this year. So people may not be picking these quarterbacks for every team. Like imagine if any of these guys drop to the playoff teams from this year. You know what I'm saying? Like those
Yeah.
guys could all use backup quarterbacks with that amount of talent that if my guy goes down, I have an opportunity to plug in somebody else that's learning the same type of system. If
Yeah,
I a team that I've built up and the contract is for my regular quarterback going to be big, I can decide
yeah.
to go or trade him like they did Trey Lance with the Cowboys with the 49ers and say, hey, we got some draft capital for a couple of years down the road because they've been in our system and my starter does this. So look at what they may have learned by being behind me. So that's the and like I said, because this draft is really heavy on wide receivers, quarterbacks, offensive linemen, cornerbacks, and everything else is kind of and safeties. It's a bunch of safeties out. Everything else is like It's not really, you know what I'm saying, that much
Mhm.
there. So they gotta sell what they have for those positions. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. I would honestly, I wouldn't be mad. Well, no, I would because you still got it. You want a veteran back there. But if they sign the boy from Notre Dame, the corner, I
Mhm.
wouldn't be mad with that. With that too, I wouldn't be mad if that's who they pick. That boy is tight, but not if Harrison is on the board. I think you got to get Harrison. That's just
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
If Harrison is on, but I'm not sold that Chicago's not going to pick Harrison. I'm not sold on that. I don't care how many. All the draft boards got Caleb Williams going first,
Well,
but
here's the thing. Do you because they brought the same coaching staff back, are you willing to risk your job on if you pick Marvin Harrison and Justin Fields doesn't play well, that you keep your job because you get to draft a quarterback next year?
that's the question. Do you
You know
keep
what I'm
your
Yeah.
saying?
job if he doesn't play
Right.
well?
So that's what I'm saying. You can't. I don't know if you bank on that, because what if Marvin Harrison gets hurt? And then now Justin Fields has to figure this all out with the same, you know what I'm saying, thing. And like I said, he's not that good. He had splashes last year where he was really good. They did finish the end of the season well in comparison to how the season started. And I think you do want that in growth of a young quarterback. Like I said, I'm not necessarily down on him, but there
Um,
are simple things that I'm not. It's more the staff, bro. I'm telling you, I don't think that they have, like the
I'm gonna tell you
Ravens.
what happened. Can I give you? Let me
Quick.
interject one quick second. What I think what happened with him is he got hurt early in the season, if everybody remembered, right? And then he came back against us, lit it up, and then for kind of the rest of the season, he got hurt again. So he sat out so a couple more games, and then came back, and he was on a really good run. And then he ran into the Packers, and they saw, and everybody in Chicago saw the way the boy. What's the boy name out there? The quarterback, the young guy, what's his name?
Justin Love, I mean Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Everybody in Chicago saw how fast Jordan Love grew and how good he looked, and then said, we don't want Fields. He's not moving. This is not going fast enough for us.
Bro, he only had 500 yards passing.
You see what I'm saying? Huh?
Mhm.
You said
He only had 2,500 yards
he was
passing.
hurt though. He was hurt. He was hurt a lot this year.
He missed 4 games.
Oh, so he missed 4 games. Right. 25 yards, 4 games. You can get it. That's about another 1,000 yards. So that's about 3,600 yards. That ain't bad. That ain't bad.
But can he get another 1,000 yards in 4
That's
games?
that's 250. That's
He,
250 a game. He could do that.
but let's go look at his game logs. 1 second, please.
Yeah,
Game
he could do
log
that.
right here. Regular season, and he had 657 rushing yards.
And he had 657, right? Yeah. See, that's almost 700 rushing yards.
He only had
Well,
4 touchdowns.
650, huh?
He only had 4 touchdowns.
On the ground.
Yeah.
That ain't bad. That ain't bad. But 650 rushing yards is really good. That's really good. It's really good. That's really good.
I'm trying to find the game log. Where we at? Right games, regular season, per game stats. He averaged, what we got here? Passing. My bad. My bad. I can't see it right here. Hold on.
I think he just ran into Jordan Love, and those people in Chicago said, "Oh hell no, you gave this boy one season, and look how he look, and then look how you look."
Do
That's
we
what
draft a defensive back to replace St. Juice?
I would. I like St. Juice though. I'm not gonna lie. I think he has all the physical tools. I just don't know what happened last year because he couldn't. He couldn't cover. He couldn't cover a pencil with a bed sheet, bruh. Real talk.
he
Real
was
talk. It was bad.
bad, man.
It was bad, man. So
Bad man.
that's where that's where for me.
All right. His yards per game
AV.
Yes,
You know who KP Skywalker is?
yes.
I heard he just got I heard he just passed or something like that. He was on the Murder Mayhem jump.
What?
Dead serious. About an hour ago.
Said he can't have nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Said he can't have nothing. Justin Field only had over 250 3 times last year.
Okay.
Bro.
Okay.
335 against Denver. So I'm not impressed by that Sam Howell performance in Denver because everybody was dogging him obviously in the early part of the year. 282 against the Redskins, 230 to one receiver in that game, only 15 completions. Uh the game he had 335, he had 28 completions though, but that was a close game, just like our game against them. His next game over 250 was Atlanta, and they beat them bad 37-17. He was 20 for 32, 268. He only threw for one touchdown that game, but he was sacked 3 times. QBR was a 65. His highest QBR was a 75-5 against us in Denver all season.
He played good though against us. So that if that, I'm not about to sit here and talk trash way they be, they
And they
throttled
beat
up.
they beat us bad, bro. But one player had 230. If you take away
I agree with
230,
that. I
he
agree
had
with that.
50. Listen, he had 52 yards on whatever amount of other attempts he had outside of DJ Moore. 52 yards,
So who do
51% completion.
so you think they getting Williams?
I believe, and even though I do not think that Caleb Williams is that good, in my opinion, but that I think that is based on his arrogance and based on some other things that we've already talked about. I think that he is still easier to develop with the offense that they can run in the NFL with that staff. I don't think they have the staff that knows what to do with Justin Fields.
I don't
That
think they're gonna know what to do with nobody.
I, I think again, I think that if you get Caleb Williams, you get the excuse of being able to keep your job for the
I
next
agree
couple
with
of
that.
years because a rookie quarterback comes with rookie, you know what I'm saying, rookie
Right.
stuff. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But again, once you draft Caleb, what you pick after that will determine what you're trying to build. They have enough power that if you're not going to pick Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison, you're going to trade back the pick. You know what I'm saying? And that gets you and your coaching staff an ability to keep your job for a few years because you can build a lot with the team if you're saying that I'm gonna get 3 or 4 players off of these picks for this one player.
Well,
But
you have
I
to deal.
believe
You have to deal with Fields at that point though.
that's if you keep that. That's if you keep that number one pick. If you don't keep the number one pick, you can get more for the capital, and you can build around Fields with a ton of players. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's a ton of wide receivers out here. So you don't. Yes, you miss on the Marvin Harrison, but what if you can get 800-yard receivers? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or one defender that goes with Sweat, and still they can also pick a Chase Young who's still out there if they'd like to combine that together. You know what I'm saying? But they could
Yeah.
pick a defender and they could pick a wide receiver. They can pick a defender and a cornerback. They can just, and they already locked in their cornerback, if I'm not mistaken, for about 78 million. So they're solid in that particular area. They've always had pretty good secondary players and stuff like that. So it's about building up whatever can. And they've just had bad seasons with Fields. I'm not saying that he can't be better and that they can't put more around him, but he's just been bad. And like I said, when you have the excuse that Tom Brady was a bad example for people who tried to build teams like that. You had a quarterback who did not need a lot around him, and those teams tried to save money. Whether these owners, you know what I'm saying, would like to admit it or not, some of these teams tried to save money and build teams that had mediocre quarterbacks that they thought were going to be good, and they put mediocre players around him that were splashes in college, and their talent just didn't add up. I'm not comparing us and the Bears together, but in some regard, in the last 2 years, we've had similar seasons, and it's because the talent, like with Rivera, like I've had to learn, he hasn't been the best drafter. When I look at some of the players, I look at where our roster has gotten to. Well, dang, where he did draft well, we don't have those players, but most of those other players were pretty bad, or they didn't, or they got injured and didn't, you know what I'm saying, didn't play as much as we thought they would to show us what they could do. So his draft run wasn't really that good. Well, the Bears did the same thing. They didn't draft well and they paid for it. They had Khalil Mack, they had other players. They just, when it didn't go well, they got rid of the stuff fast. They didn't want to work and keep building on those things. They tried to do things too quickly and they just ended up tearing the ship up. I think that if they go with Caleb, it's a safe pick. If they go with Marvin Harrison Jr., it's a we have to win right now pick. And I'm not saying it doesn't help them win right now. I'm saying that it has to go that way. And if it doesn't, you lose your job. And whoever else comes in, you're going to have to go through this Justin Fields thing all over again. Now, the one thing you will have is you will have Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Right.
not saying that that's a bad enough thing to let your fans go through a bad season just to have that splash of one player. But again, if he gets hurt, things that we don't know because those guys didn't do the medical tests and things
Right.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Those things worry me personally. Like I said, I would still pick them, but again, I know our field has taken down everybody. So
Right.
I got to be careful about the guys that we really get in here because we also got to make sure that these guys are guys that can get them, that keep themselves healthy. Marvin Harrison Jr. again, definitely different. The Brendan Rices and stuff different because they have fathers that have been around the game, like the McCaffrey, like McCaffrey. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's brothers coming out. Like those guys are going to be guys that can keep themselves healthy because they have fathers that have been training and stuff like that, that they know how to do that. So these other young guys that you get to come in, you got to know that they're able to do that to invest these type of picks on them. I just feel like if you think team first instead of overall player, if the Bears pick Marvin Harrison Jr., you have to trade that pick back and gain the capital that the Bears will, because that means that the Bears picked. And that means that now you basically hold the number one pick in the draft. Regardless of who they pick, there's still a number one pick in this particular draft available. So Caleb is available, or if a Drake May is available, or if a Marvin Harrison Jr. is the first player available, then that's the first pick. If a Joe Alt's the first pick, that's cool. And if that's the player that you need, then I'm not really afraid to talk about him if I'm the number two pick. Because if anything, that's who I'm talking about in the media, who I may really, really like going after. That's because I'm selling that as draft capital for whoever may want this particular player that I really don't want low key. Like the Caleb Williams. Like I would have been big on Caleb Williams about the Redskins because I don't want him. You know what I'm saying? So I'd have been really
Right.
big on him to make the draft. I would have made the Bears pick him because I really would have wanted the Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I would have sold it like that. I'm schematic like that. Well, I'm thinking chess in that regards. If there's a player I really like, but if I got the number two pick, I'm threatening that the Bears don't try to sell me and make me be the trade bait. No, I'm not buying your trade. I don't care about trading with you guys. I don't want to move up and lose future draft capital with a new owner and a new staff when you guys can keep that capital and now let them draft, and you now basically hold the number one pick. Your draft capital is going to be extreme if you get out of this pick to whoever else wants to get it.
Right. Right. I mean, again, I who knows what they're gonna do on but when you look at his numbers, then you probably may want to go Williams, because you're right. If you don't go Williams and you do go Harrison, then and it doesn't work out, you're probably going to be fired. You probably sealed your deal to be fired. You know what I'm saying?
Because
So
imagine getting Marvin Harrison Jr. and Justin Fields can't hit him.
right. But I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, and not only that, it feels get hurt. You got
Yeah,
what type of
yeah.
players, what type of player you going into the season with. He's a guy who runs around a lot and do a lot of different
And
things.
if he gets hurt, you're
Or
not sure if he's going to be that quarterback that you invested into. Because again, you got to sign him. It's not
yeah,
even just about him coming back. It's the fact that you got to give
you
him
gotta give him
money.
some money. You gonna have to give him some money. So I mean,
Yeah,
and the thing is, even with Fields, let's just say he's all right, but Caleb Williams end up being really good for someone else. Then
right,
I think you still risk your job there too. So, and I'm not
right,
sure
exactly, exactly.
and I'm not sure they have enough pieces right now to
And
actually
I
be
think that
good and win enough
that's
games.
why the GM brought the same coaches back instead of getting a new coaching staff, because the new coaching staff is forced to get rid of Justin Fields. All right,
Right.
no, let's look at the board and let's actually not panic and let's think about what we can do. All right. Marvin Harrison is a hot topic that no one is talking about except for the commentators and the fans and stuff like that. But the coaches and all that aren't really talking about him as much because everybody knows who it is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does. All right, cool. No problem. There's going to be tons of teams that are offering the Bears different things on draft day. Think about how many free agents they are and stuff like that. That's cool. Well, think about what teams signed free agents that didn't let people go. Like I said, the Chargers, now that I think about it, could offer up a Joey Bosa for a swap of their pick and still have the number 5 pick or the number 4 pick. They could offer up a Keenan Allen. Because again, they need weapons with the Bears, so they get a wide receiver that they could trust and still pick a young one, have him teach whoever he needs to teach, and still be a serviceable player. Not have to pay an asshole amount of money, just finish off the contract with the Chargers, and maybe the Chargers got to do the same thing that they did with Russell Wilson and finish off some of the end of it, so you can split that and still able to keep capital and build on top of that. And again, like I said, Harbaugh with the Chargers is definitely going to pick for the team, but I definitely got him picking a ton of Michigan guys. You know what I'm saying? At least 3 or 4 Michigan guys. So again, I take them off the board unless you're really looking at somebody from Michigan to pick outside of McCarthy. I know he's going to look at everybody else. He would love to get McCarthy even as a backup, but that would be that McCarthy drops to like the 3rd or 4th round. And I think he'd pick him on the fact that at the price that I get him for, if Herbert gets hurt, I'm cool with that. I don't think he drops that far because I watched him throw. But again, that's something that's to be looked at.
Right. Well, so this is day 2. You know, y'all want to get a final thoughts? Get a final thoughts on day 2?
I liked everything today except for I question. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I just questioned the Cleveland Furrow pick, but I liked everything else. I can't say that I didn't find everything else to be cool. I liked everything else. I even liked the long snapper Terry Orr, or Terry Ott. Like I just like for the fact that it was a 3-year deal. It wasn't nothing major, but it was something that you don't have to worry about. It's something that you feel safe about. It's secure. It's a position that you don't have to think twice about. You know what I'm saying? Again, when you do things like that, I just feel like there's a sense of making sure that these things are done. If he isn't good, it's not a hard position to remove, but because you identified it, I just feel like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to identify with certain things that are missing or certain things that need to be addressed right away. The deals aren't bank breaking deals. Again, I do see that they haven't gone out for the big splash player, but if you still have room to do so, which means that even if you do sign back a Curl or sign back a Fuller, you can afford to bring those guys back and still make some other noise. You have to keep some money, of course, to get those rookies and stuff like that under contract and everything like that. But I don't think that that's going to be a big deal in comparison. If you don't get the big splash player, again, you save yourself some room during the draft to make some deals. You know what I'm saying? Because you'd have capital to be able to take on a player that may have a larger contract from somebody else that may just want to get rid of the contract that you may like the player, or you feel like you can pay that high number for that year and then work out something later if they do well. So you have options on the table if you do that. And I do like that this is the most active offseason with not just notable names, because some of the players aren't as notable names, but I do like the activity of the offseason.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have
What
to
you got,
agree
big
with you
son?
on that. I've been very silent because excuse me for breaking off like that in the middle of the broadcast, but I've been doing the draft and watching film and looking at players, getting to know some guys.
Can't hear you, big guy.
Man, it's just gonna be a nice draft. That's all I can say. There's some players out here, some we don't even know about, and I'm looking these guys up. These guys are we probably won't need no running back,
I know you're talking, but you're going in now, big guy.
No,
but
I got him. I got him.
Okay,
Can you hear? Can you hear me, Vito?
I couldn't hear him, but if you on,
you
cool.
you can't hear me.
I don't hear
I
You
him.
can hear
got you.
me
No,
now,
no. Go
bro.
ahead. Go ahead. I got you. Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
can hear you, Big Son.
Okay, cool.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
then, yeah. It's probably me just mumbling because I'm just saying, at this talent that I was just watching. Um, One is Joe Milton. Y'all know who Joe Milton is
Joe Milton. Yeah.
Yeah,
from Tennessee.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how Shorty lasted this long in this draft. I mean, he got an arm. He ain't scared to take a hit. If he got to take the hit to get the ball off, like, man, Shorty, all right, it's another, it's a running back out of Kentucky I like. Davis. I'm just sitting back watching these guys and all like, wow, I ain't know nothing about these guys. I mean, I knew a little bit about the quarterback, Milton, because ain't that where Xavier is at? Worthy,
Yeah,
Tennessee, right?
yeah,
Yeah, he
I
Yeah.
went
believe
there.
so.
So I know a little bit about him watching film of Worthy, looking at film on him and everything. But man, I just cannot wait until the draft to see what we actually do because knowing what the pieces that we have now, see now you can draft. You have a better structure of how the draft board is going to work, and knowing that, and that's another
No,
reason why
Xavier Worthy was at Texas. Worthy was at
Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
Okay, the other see. Okay, yeah, but the guy looked just like him out there. But anywho, um, knowing that in the draft we got a what? When is the draft? Like what? In a couple weeks or something?
Yeah,
End of April.
25th, April
Yeah.
25th.
Oh, almost a little over a month out. But but man, like Vito said, they've been extra busy, and I can dig that. We ain't been this busy around here in I don't know how long. Like just to see them sign what 6 players today, and how many did they sign yesterday? So you know um, it's refreshing to see them actually looking for talent and actually not all being bad buy-ins like in recent years. Just to be honest, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I was trying to find a way to sugarcoat it, but I can't. So I'm gonna just say, what I'm saying? It's just real refreshing to see them actually spend the time and bring some good players in here because, like I say, I like Jeremy Chin. I like his film. I like the center, the Pro Bowler. Um, I've always liked Dante Fowler. I'm just waiting to see how his time's going to plug into what we do here in Washington. It's been a roller coaster, the season, because looking at how much promise was shown at the beginning of the season, watching our clips earlier, there was a lot of promise shown to us during the preseason in the first week of the season.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It was a lot of promise shown to us, and I could feel it. And I'm looking like, wow, we were so, you know, uh, it was a breath of fresh air around here, to be honest, at a point in time. But then it just came to a point where, like, all right, well, what are we doing here? And then we found out what we was doing here, and it got now it's just a little refreshing to see. You know what I'm saying? It's a little refreshing to see how far we've come and where we at now. So yeah, it's. I'm not gonna say it's looking up, but it's looking.
Absolutely. What you
Yeah.
got, Point? What you got?
I'm gonna just say this. I like what we're doing so far. Um, I cannot say it's a bad system or like I dislike. I think whenever a new regime come in, you look at who's your core players. You hold on to those: the Terry McLaurins, the John Allens, the Deron Paynes. Um, you say it's some talent there, like a Jamin Davis, or me personally, I feel Cameron Curl, but you also want to implement what you do, and you want to find good talent, and you want to find hard workers. And I think adding two captains yesterday to the team is a great thing. Adding a splash player, not necessarily a big splash player, but a Dante Fowler, somebody that comes on for splash plays and gets sacks and creates pressure and stuff like that. I think that's a very healthy thing for you to do. like I said, I would love for them to focus a little bit more on the offensive line, but maybe they feel like they're going to do that in the draft. And if that is their plan, then I think that that's a genius plan. Get some young linemen in your rotation, because I feel like we do have some linemen already on the staff, already on the team, that is going to be effective. Austin
Absolutely.
Eckler is a guy that I really do like that we picked up, and I do like Marcus Mariota pick because it gives us some leverage, some leeway. Okay, that means we don't have to pick a quarterback. If we want to rock with Sam Howell, Marcus Mariota, Jake Fromm, I'm good with that. That means if we do want to pick a quarterback, hey, we could trade Sam Howell. We can get some value for him. You know what I mean? We can go with the new quarterback, and then we could have Marcus Mariota back that new quarterback up and still have Fromm just in case. Worst case scenario, my man Fromm hit the field. So
From
I
where
From
you
really think,
come from?
huh?
from
From
Yeah,
um
yeah, my
yeah,
man Fromm. So
yeah.
I don't think that what we have done is a bad thing. I think that we've done decent in free agency. I would have liked to done a little bit better, though. I will say that there was Daniil Hunter, there was there was Saquon Barkley, there was Derrick Henry, there was so many good players that I don't think that we took Bryce Huff. So many players I don't think we took the initiative to go after. You know what
mm,
I mean? So in the event that we don't go after Curtis Samuel, meaning we're going to need another wide receiver, it is almost imperative that you draft somebody like Marvin Harrison if he is available, if the Bears don't grab him first. And then in the event that the Bears do grab him first, drafting Caleb Williams and trading him might be the best option because you can get a king's ransom for that. Have him
I don't,
doing an Eli Manning trade. Okay. You know what I
I don't
mean?
know. I don't
Now,
know.
if we draft him, I,
$20
I
point
think, and we trade him, I think a lot of the fans might be a bit upset, but I think that might work out the best way. Not even a trade back, but trade him specifically to a team that wants him bad, basically. You know what I mean?
But that's why I said just trade back though, because if you pick the player, you just
Right.
get whatever that team's going to be able to offer you. If you pick if you trade the pick, that team can do whatever they want, but you can get back whatever you want from them without having to worry about whatever they do in the draft.
No, but I mean, if you trade the player, I mean, there's been Herschel Walker trades, bro. There's been all kinds of
We
wild ass trades, and I'm
After
not saying
Hershey
that that's
Walker played though
listen
four
though.
seasons.
yes, that's
Huh?
And after and honestly, that's the
No,
Redskins who even
but what I'm
he the
saying,
Redskins who
I'm not saying
both
that he
made that
will be that.
happen.
It will be that. What I'm saying is that wild trades happen in that space. You know what I mean? Think about what the Giants had to give up to get Eli Manning off of San Diego.
What
they
did
got
they
Drew
give up? They
Brees.
got yeah, they
I don't
swapped.
know.
They
I don't know
swapped
exactly.
players.
Huh?
They
They got
swapped
Drew
players.
Brees. They got
My
Drew
point.
Brees.
Okay, now that's a good swap in my
But
opinion.
they
You
didn't
know what
get
I
no
mean?
extra picks. That's what I'm
Right.
Yeah,
saying.
that's
Like they
true.
just
That's true. But I'm just saying that draft day stuff happen out of the ordinary because that's not something that ordinarily happens, right?
very true, very true,
You
very
know, so
true.
that's my angle at it.
I
I
got you. I got
really
you.
I really, really, really feel like to me, Marvin Harrison is the best pick, but I would like to see what we do tomorrow because tomorrow's another day. You have 5 real days of free agency. And so the first 5 days of free agency means everything. Some of those bigger names already off the board. Now it's the scramble to get those quality players that may be number 20, number 50. You know what I'm
Do you make
saying?
a splash at getting a Bosa from the Chargers?
Maybe. I'm not sure. But I don't know if you need them. I don't know if you need him from
I would
what I've
take Khalil
seen.
Mack. I tell you that.
Listen though, I
I
don't know if
don't
we
know about
need
Bosa,
and
but
for I'm saying for what we added on
Mack
our
had
team
6 sacks
today
in one game
on the
this year.
edge, in my opinion, from what we added on the edge today, yesterday, and like I said, with Luvu, you know what I mean? You got somebody that can play on that outside. I just watched a lot of tape of him. He plays on the outside a lot. He came out of college as a outside edge rusher. So, and he's good at the edge. You know what I'm saying? So having somebody that can jump from edge to the middle is excellent. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't know if they're what their plans for Jamin Davis is, but you got him and if him and Jamin Davis flying around, and we got uh Jonathan Allen and Payne creating some pressure in the middle. All that we got to worry about is those edges. You know what I'm saying? And to me, Dante Fowler is a pretty good edge rusher. Dorrance Armstrong been playing okay. So I mean, if you add one player, like we still got a KJ Henry too, who may develop a lot this year. We don't know what he did in the offseason because he was a highly touted edge rusher coming out of college last year, you know?
Right,
So I
right.
think we're in a great position. I think we should just keep continuing to build on this. But I want to see what we do tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be one of those key days where people that you didn't think about is going to fly off the board.
Right, right. For me, again, I like what we did today. I mean, let me say this. Now looking at the roster as it shaped out, I think that they are making moves, and with more information. Because again, I always thought that Wiley was a little older, but finding out he's a little younger. And whatever that happened last year, it wasn't good for him. Maybe his wife was cheating on him or something. And who knows what was going on in his life? But something happened to where he wasn't the man that came from Kansas City. I don't know if he lost himself on the plane or what. So maybe, he needed a year to, get used to DC or something. Maybe he's getting drunk at night, going out in the Rose Bowl, something like John Wall. Who knows what he was doing? But he came here and he was bad. So maybe they feel like he was young, he can get it together. So, but with Wiley and with the two guys in the middle, you got Cosby on the other side. I do think you still got Braden Daniels. So who knows what he's going to be? But even if he's good, you still can get somebody else and they can swap, be insurance, however it works. So I think when you look at the offensive line, then you look at the defensive line, the things they did on the defensive line today, what they did at linebacker yesterday, to go along with Jamin Davis. I think they seem to be trying or attempting to fill holes. Again, I looked at Austin Eckler. I didn't look at his numbers yesterday when I first spoke. But looking at his numbers, like I said, he's had a 90 reception season. He's had a 70 reception season at running back, and he's had 107 receptions at running back as well. Had a 1,200-yard rushing season and a 1,600-yard rushing season. So those are viable numbers. Despite whatever reservations I might have about his size, about it being physical in the NFC East, which it is, it's much more physical in the NFC East than it is in the AFC West. That just goes without saying. But however, with his numbers, I think, and with what we know about him, I think that this could be a great addition. Um, so with everything, when you look at the roster, yeah, they gotta do their thing at corner. I think at cornerback is the glaring to me at least is the glaring hole. But you do still have Kendall Fuller out there if nobody else, and you still got Cameron Curl out there. So you could bring in some fillers even from your own team who was on the roster last year. So, I think that they're trying to do what's right in regards to the roster. Based on the moves they made, I could see them drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. I could see them drafting Joe Alt. I could see them moving down. One of the three. I do think with them getting Marcus Mariota, at least for me, at least, every person is different. However they view the game is different. If I would if I would get a Marvin Harrison Jr., then I would know that I'm not getting one of the quarterbacks that are coming out, because a lot of them, their strengths are the big arm. The big arm. That's their strength. And their weaknesses are they're not very durable. Not very big, not very physical quarterbacks. So I wouldn't be getting Marcus Mariota as a backup unless Sam Howell was going to be the starter. That's me, though. So I think in regards to that, if their plan was to keep Sam Howell, I can live with them getting Mariota. Even though Mariota, he's had 2 really good seasons. His first season was really good. His second season was his best season. When he had 26 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, and he threw, I believe he threw for 32 some odd 100 yards, and he was really good that year. So his best season was his second season. So all the other seasons afterwards have been on, off, jumping up or down, around, however it works. So I'm satisfied with what they're doing. The Mariota thing was left field. Very surprising. Very surprising. The Mariota thing was left field. It was very surprising. But nonetheless, that's what they did. And I think it bodes well for at least what the fans are doing. I think it's the safe choice to points view and to Vito's view. I'm not sure that with a new coach, with the new coach, but he's experienced, but with a brand new um owner, first time owner, and a first time GM, I don't think it's the smartest thing to pick a quarterback, because you don't really have enough experience to be able to do it well. No offense to those guys. I know those guys are very decorated in whatever it is they do, but this is a little different. So you want to give yourself the best chance to succeed. I think that's Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best chance to succeed because he's so polished already. Or Joe Alt would be your best shake because of he's so polished already. I think Alt would have to lose about 20 pounds. And if you look at the guy we got from Dallas, Biadasz, if you look at his size in college, he's dropped a couple pounds since he's been in the NFL too. So I think Joe Alt would have to come down a little bit to be able to move the way he's going to need to move in some of what we're going to do, especially with a running quarterback. So that's just something to keep an eye on as well. But overall, I think it was great. I think not great. I would give it, if I had to grade it, I would give it maybe a B. A B. I would give it a B. I don't think it was an A, but I do think it was a B based on the roster and what they seem to be trying to do. It turns into the F to me if you draft a quarterback, though. So this can all go to hell quick. we almost there, but this can all go to hell quick. So, that's just the basics of what I see on my end. And the final thoughts, I think this was a decent day. Great. Yeah, I think the day 2 wasn't as good as day 1. I believe day 1 was better. However, day 2 wasn't bad either. Day 2 wasn't bad either. You know what I mean? Day 2 wasn't bad either. So, with that being said, we ain't gonna hold y'all no further. This is the Nature Show. I'm gonna sign off. This is ETA Money Row signing off. Pass it off to the guys so they can sign off.
Y'all already know it's that boy Big Son, man. Look out for another podcast coming from your boy Big Son. See how I can work it out with the network. But y'all look out for it. Got me and my homie working on something cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna run it past them and see how it work out. But yeah, y'all be looking for that. But definitely stay tuned for this free agency day 3 coming up. Like Leo said, it's gonna be very important for day 3 because that's where you can really splash and catch some gems. I'm gonna go look up and see how many free agents we got left out there that's could come in and do some damage, and we'll see what we're gonna do, man. But it's your boy Big Son signing off. Y'all already know what it is.
Point, you there? Vito? Oh, well, I guess I'm gonna sign off for Point Vito. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for Point Vito. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That was
I think Point's still in, but I don't know. It's straight
yeah.
on mute.
I'm gonna sign off for Point and Vito. You know what I'm saying? That was Point B. Uptown Vito, you know what I'm saying? It's ETA Money Road. It's the Nature Show. You dig? Just making sure that y'all stay tuned and all the updates on all the free agency. We're gonna see y'all tomorrow for day 3 of this free agency frenzy. You dig what I'm saying? Peace out.
Yes, sir.